Good morning. I am higher vibrations, and so are you. And man, have we had a rocky road the past couple of days. All kinds of energy coming in. We got, it's not just Mercury retrograde that we're noticing, even though it technically doesn't retrograde till Sunday. We still have supposedly 2 days without it, but there's always that window. So we got all that going on. I'm just happy we're able to go live at all. I wasn't sure if that was going to work. Um, but I just to echo out what I know a lot of you in the audience are feeling kind of funky. And there's this anticipation of like a really big geomagnetic storm coming in. And so I think that some people probably are working their own energy up in anticipation for it. So it's okay. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Like we're going to feel it. It'll be a deal, but it'll be good, you know?
Yes.
So that's just my little prelude there. So I'm so excited to get to what welcome back Layla Wind. She's been on the show a few times already before. And it's so funny because I actually connect with you in a probably an astral kind of space occasionally. And so to call you Layla feels wrong. It doesn't feel like
Oh,
your name. And so anyway, I just think
oh.
that's really interesting. But welcome back. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much. I knew you, I kind of knew you were going to say that. It's kind of like I've had a few of my friends actually say, and like people who I don't really talk to on a regular, but they are connecting with me in the astral realm, in the they're in like my multidimensional self.
Yeah.
One of my good friends was telling me I was doing some sacred dance teachings in her meditation, and I haven't talked to her in a few months, so that was interesting. So, but yeah, can you tell me? I want to know like what name do you feel is fitting? Is it Wind, just Wind, or what? What do you think?
No, it's a I actually can't make my I'm trying to make my tongue do it. It's like but it has a sha shoo. Like it's
Ooh.
like not to be mistaken for a different guest that we have on. But like there she has a similar sounding name, but Shashu is what I was just thinking back to. But this is no, it's not like that. It's like it almost feels like you're making your. It's kind of like wind talking, actually. Now that you said wind,
Mm. Yeah,
and
because when you said shashu, I was kind of like hearing the wind, like how the wind sounds, like especially like if it's a whirlwind or if it's a stronger wind, kind of has that.
yeah, yeah,
Wow, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah. Yeah, and the violet indigo colors that follow you there are also
Mm.
really pretty, just so you know.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you for
So,
having us.
so you've been feeling this? Have you been like the past couple of days? I saw that you had responded to my email. I don't know. I'm not going to say what. I'm not going to repeat anything you wrote, but um, man, I had a crazy couple of nights, y'all. Like I've not been sleeping exactly, but when I am, boy, oh boy, are we having act, and I'm having a lot of like ancient elders like of the indigenous realms, you know, like the plains people and the like a lot. I had Shoshone come through that's never happened before. The weird but good, like something really insignificant has just occurred and I can tell, but it has a lot to do with interrupting my sleep, which doesn't feel like it's nice, but they're not doing it not to be mean. It's just there's a lot of stuff coming in. And I was wondering if you also had a similar experience.
Yeah, to be honest, like all year, I feel like I've been having something coming in. But of
Yeah.
course, but I feel like, again, just with the times that we're in, again, looking at the astrology, I mean, so many different factors, right? But especially, being a supermoon in Taurus,
Yeah.
retrograde season, we're closing out the end of this 9 year, this collective 9 year. Um, there is a sense of intensity in a sense. But I also don't feel like it's an intensity that is meant to like scare us or kind of get us off balance or off course.
Yeah.
I feel like, and it's even really tied into the time. I've been seeing that a lot come up. The time matrix,
Yeah.
paradigm shift of, yes, hey Yolanda. Yes, I seen her in the chat. And hey everybody. Peace and love to all. But yeah, I'm really feeling just this energy of just more need to be present with self, present in our heart, present with our breath. Like because it can feel, our energy can kind of be pulled in so many different directions
Hmm.
because of this influx of, like you said, ascension symptoms. And then, I mean, there's just so many different influences, things that are influencing us. But we got to remember, we can also influence what's influencing us as well. It
Yeah.
works both ways. So, yeah, I feel like just this energy of needing to ground. And then also, for me, connecting with the ancestors has been a theme this past month, connecting with my ancestors, grounding, even the ancestors of the earth, connecting with
Yeah.
Mother Earth. You know, not just our ancestors, but the plant ancestors, the animal ancestors, like the ancestors of all. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really glad you brought the animals up. Guess what?
Mhm.
Guess what?
Yeah. What's up?
Dude, so we've been following a lot of these different like prophecies and stuff. I actually was
Mhm.
drawn to them because it's happening. Like it's really there's the Hopi, there's the Lakota, there's uh um um northern Mexico. I don't like the Aztecian kind of stories, and I mean all over are all talking about this time, so
Yeah.
but people haven't noticed like the far north brothers and sisters, and we got like the Gaelic's prophecies that are coming up now. So check this
Oh,
out.
oh
They
yeah.
were anticipating the return of the white deer. Now, the
Oh,
white deer is different than an albino deer. An albino deer, you'll notice it's an albino because it has pink or red eyes, right? And I
oh,
remember
okay.
hearing about this. This is like the Fae. It's a whole story behind it. In fact, I shared a reel about it on Facebook for anyone interested. Um, however, it's come back, and
Oh, wow.
it's known as the magic returning. And the other part of the Hopi prophecy that we're already in is that the white brother, the white lost brother. So it doesn't mean that it's a Caucasian person. Like we're not white, we're peach. Honestly, it's BS. I think it's
I get it.
all of it's a baloney. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, is that this great white brother, the lost brother, is supposed to return from the east,
Mm.
and the that's a story that the Hopi tell. The Hopi nation are the people of like Arizona, extreme southern Utah, New Mexico area in there. It goes all the way up actually through Idaho and Montana too, if you really follow the way of Utah. But it's fascinating because this deer would be from the east for the Hopi,
Mm.
and it's just kind of it signals a moment that they've been waiting for, and I find this to be really profound. Like I that it just barely happened. So,
Mm.
and then the last part, I'm going to leave it alone. But I talked about this a lot already, the Kachina and the Hopi stuff. But this part is just meant to show all of you listening that it's a time of hope. It's a time of excitement, and that yeah, maybe it feels like this, but it's awesome. Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
um, the Kachina are the two dancers, and the blue one is to come through in order for the awakening to occur. And so when Three Eye Atlas turned blue, I noticed it, but a lot of people, I'm just finding this Mandela effect lately. Most people don't remember it having turned blue yet, but it turned blue right before it went behind the sun, and it left off a baby. And this
It
little
left off a
blue,
baby.
mhm.
Oh,
So there's this
wow.
blue star between
Mm.
us and the sun and Three Eye Atlas. And it's like, and it also doesn't have a tail like a comet's supposed to have. It's just an
Oh, okay.
orb flying around. So,
Wow.
anyway, all of these awesome moments are happening right now in our lifetime. And it's just really fun to see that. So, I just wanted to be sure to
Oh,
mention it.
oh yeah, absolutely. Where did the deer show up? The white deer.
It was in Ireland. I don't remember what part of Ireland.
Mm.
It's in it, the I'll have to it was by a lock. I remember that here. Wait, I took a screenshot. I can find it right now and tell you.
Mm. And it's interesting when you said Ireland. So, Sarah put up some clovers. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
Right before you said Ireland. So that's a sign. That's a sign of luck too. The
I'm
clovers.
trying. Van Hale, the okay, in the lows of the Loch of the Lows in Scotland.
Oh, it's
I
in
don't know exactly.
Scotland. Okay.
Yeah,
In that area,
so
it's
I
still
said it
like
wrong.
same region, area.
Right.
Wow, that's beautiful. I've never heard of that prophecy. I do know the Hopi have a prophecy as well of the time we're coming back into the time before no time. That's what they say. So the time of no time. And that's another
Yeah.
thing that we're returning to is that multidimensional quantum. It's no longer, and it's never been linear. That's just been our level of consciousness, projecting
Yeah.
that. But yeah, we're tapping into the time before no time.
What does that look like, do you think? What's that going to be like?
Oh, for one, well, I would say in terms of like how the human being shows up and operates, we're going to be more instead of like the human doing, we're going to be the human beings. Like truly, like the true human being that we're meant to, because we're so caught up into this construct of time, and
Yeah.
it's making us, in a way, that's part of the slave matrix, right? That keeps us, yeah, talk about, she's put quantum entanglement. There's been a
And it
linear.
was 11:11 when I clicked it too, by the way.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
We've
love
been on
it.
for 11 minutes and 11 seconds.
Yes, yeah, and that, even that right there is a sign of the time before no time, because it's not about the 11:11 time, it's about the alignment. It's
Yeah,
about the synchronicities. It's about the
exactly.
trust. It's about the knowing. It's about the presence. So it's interesting, yeah, Wade put quantum entanglement. There's been a linear entanglement in a sense,
Yeah.
and where we've been. And also too, it also coincides and correlates with getting out of the mind, especially because the time and mind are very, very much intertwined in terms of obsessing over what we have to do, what we need to do. And that is a big part of the anxiety that we're feeling.
Yeah.
And I will say too, a lot of stuff is coming up for us, and it's in a way we're meant to be pressurized so we can just surrender to it all. Just surrender and be here.
Yeah.
Just be here. Just be here. And that's a message. Trust me, this is a message to self.
Yeah. You actually just described the prophecy of the Hopi that I was referring to as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
how the Kachina story, the basics of it is,
Mhm.
um, there is a red star. The red star is the cleansing star. It's the revealing star, and the blue star signals the awakening. And
Mhm.
when Three Eye Atlas was first spotted, it was blue for a moment, and then it immediately turned red, and it turned red until it, according to other people now. Yeah, I'm this whole what a Mandela effect is. Uh,
Oh, yeah. I've had plenty of Mandela effects in my own life. So,
It's so weird because I had conversations with people. I had shows talking about how it was already blue, and it
mm,
apparently it hadn't turned blue according to everybody else,
mm,
but it turned blue right before it went behind the sun. Anyway, uh, after the two dancers come and initiate the global awakening, the global ascension, then come the Watchers 200, or the bearers of mirrors. They are the
mm,
mirror bearers. So they come, and this started around July 1st, where we
mhm,
all started having life review. All of this old
mhm,
stuff from a long time ago started coming up because it's the
mhm,
mirrors. They're like, it's not meant to hurt or cause disharmony. It's to show you what is inside
mhm,
so it can be released. And it is exactly to do with time. And this is also remarked in the Bible in the book of Matthew 24. I only know that because Spirit told me to look one time. And it says that we will stop. Basically, it says time is going to speed up for us, for those
mhm,
of us doing this actual effort of awakening, whether we know
mhm,
it or not. And the so time just dissolves. Here in this prophecy, they call it the great purification, or the time of choosing. That's
mhm,
what the Hopi call it. So what's really fun is the Christians call it the time of judgment, and the Mayan call it the return of the lords of light, and the Egyptians called it the weighing of the heart. But every other aspect of this prophecy is exactly the same, all from all of these religions and ways, and this is just a couple examples. Though they say when the doors to the stars opens again, humans must choose to rise in spirit or to perish in forgetfulness behind the veil again. Again,
Mhm.
again. That
Again.
implies the reset has been each time. And so the first reset was fire, they tell. The second reset was ice. The third reset was floods. Now, what I'm talking about with the reset is not good. If you're listening to this video, you're on the choose. You chose love. It takes, you have to choose, at least 51% of you has to choose love in order to be of love. 97% of you has to choose fear to choose fear. So it's not a scary message. It's like, oh, okay. So if I have moments of anxiety, I'm not making a choice I don't want to make. Like,
Mhm.
you're okay. You're choosing love, you know?
Mhm.
And
A thousand
um,
percent.
with this, we all return back to the natural human genome,
Mhm.
the part that's been
Absolutely.
missing.
Oh yeah. That DNA is awakening for sure. Ooh, it's powerful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. A lot of us are, we have different, not even just schools of thought. We have different levels of understanding. So this is really good to know because whatever our understandings are, or whatever our form of knowledge is, it all intertwines. It all connects. It all correlates. So this is really, really beautiful. But yes, the more that we surrender, you know, surrender and just never forget, like, no matter what you're going through, it's all for we're being it's what I like to call this year. I feel like I've been through the fire. So it's interesting you mentioned the element of fire, but I feel like the collective this year is a lot of fiery type of energy, like a lot that's been burned away. Also correlates to the snake, the shedding, but we are definitely being transmuted and shaped by the fire. So it's like we have to feel that burn in a sense. It's like spirit keeps telling me, feel the burn, like burn that ego away, right? And again, just to be clear, your ego is not your enemy. It's not your
Yeah,
enemy.
yeah,
It's just when it's wounded and we're dominated and we're living with the ego, the mind, the overthinking going first. So yeah, this is all intertwined. It's like saying the same thing but in a different way and giving people deeper understandings of what's really going on so we can truly have peace.
yeah.
That's what we're returning to.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And as you said, the way I visualized it to help myself was to realize that for the longest time, not only had I let the ego drive the car, but I also let it decide where we were going, be the car itself, the fuel, the road that it all of it.
Right.
you know.
It's true.
So I'm just learning to take the role of sitting in the driver's seat, and
Mhm.
the ego is there for a good reason, like you said. It's background operating system to ensure longevity.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's more likely that a operating program like that will ensure that you'll live longer, not live. Right?
Mhm.
Is that
Mhm.
what's a good way to not thrive?
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
the ego, when it's dominant, it keeps you in survival mode. But
Yeah.
we've been surviving. We're now in the era of thriving, truly. Like no
Yeah.
longer like barely making it, just trying to get by. Like that old paradigm shift is obsolete. But there seems to be this theme of choosing, like you mentioned, the choosing. I love that because we're starting to also remember, like, wow, I do have a choice over in every moment how I feel, how I think, my trajectory, my narrative, no matter what's even like being shown on your external world. We're starting to really recognize as a collective, especially us way showers or us forerunners, like, wow, it really is inside how I feel, no matter what's going on outside, no matter what.
Yeah.
And then also, too, just remembering it doesn't make sense in a sense. If we were to really think about the left brain, even though we're living in duality, but it doesn't make sense to live in fear and toxicity. It just doesn't make sense if we think that we're here for that. Like, even cognitively, I refuse to even believe that we're meant to be here for eternal suffering. Like, I refuse to believe. It doesn't make
Right.
sense to me, because God is love, the divine is love, we are love. It doesn't make sense. So if it's duality and it's fear, to me it doesn't make sense. I don't ascribe and subscribe to that form of thinking, and I have to remind myself of that all the time. I know, easier said than done, but it's a constant reprogramming. When we're present, we can see ourselves. We can see ourselves.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. Yep. That's
I
why I
like
call
I like
myself Chosen Goddess. My other name is Chosen Goddess on Instagram. I've been that name. That's been my first spirit name, was Chosen Goddess. And it's not the egoic chosen, like the chosen ones. We're all chosen ones when you choose. You choose to be a chosen one. The chosen ones choose themselves, meaning I'm not more important than others, but I'm choosing to love myself. I'm choosing mind, body, spirit, emotional health, because I am worthy. I'm so worthy that I don't even have to say I'm worthy, really. But we're saying it just so you can remember it.
yeah. I want to hear it's important. In fact, the whole thing that spirit had me do for a while there, that was really it really got to the bare bones of some of the things I hadn't healed yet, was I had to speak things that were kind like that to myself. Like I had to
Mhm.
say, had to, was not the
Uh-huh.
right word, but um, it kind of felt a little bit like Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg in Ghost, though. The whole singing and taunting all night long until you do it kind of thing. That's what it felt like for me. Archangel Michael was very insistent I would do YouTube, and I just did not want to do it back in the
Mm,
day. Anyway, is
I hear
this,
you.
yeah,
I
not
hear
only
you.
saying, am I worthy, but then just something simple like saying, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Like, like, and I was supposed to say it with my name in it. Mila, you're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And until it didn't feel cringe anymore.
Yeah.
And they
Absolutely.
call that trauma purification by fire.
Yeah, that's the word, that's the phrase I was looking for earlier. Thank you for saying that. That's what it is. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was trying to say. I was like, what's that saying? That's what I was thinking. Purification by fire. That's what
yeah,
we all have been going through, especially this year. Big time this
yeah.
year.
And it started the first moment that you were in an experience of trauma.
Hmm.
That's where it started. To help a lot of, I know that there's so much, all of us are feeling this way. It's like, okay, when are we going to be done with this? Like,
Hmm.
yeah, great, we know we're having ascension symptoms, fantastic, when's it going to stop? And it's like, well, they call them growing pains. And
Yeah.
it's that we've been doing what we're doing now since the first moment of the first trauma.
Yeah.
And it's been all this processing. And now we're at the other side of it, where it's happening a lot faster,
Yeah.
where we're able to receive the results so much quicker, that we're kind of hoping or expecting on some level that it's going to be like we're going to wake up and there's going to be something that happened overnight. And that's not anything close to what spirit talks about. First,
Hmm.
at the undoing of time, as that undoing of time occurs, the three systems will fail.
Hmm.
The interchangeable fall or fail. The three systems are the medical, the financial, and the school.
Yeah, I was
Those
going
are
to
the
say
three systems.
educational. Yep. And even the media system.
Yeah. And
Media.
everything, it
Corporate
turns
media.
out, I didn't have any idea, was foundationed in the medical system. Are you
Mm.
surprised? I'm surprised. It's all
I'm
about
not
the
surprised. It's all intertwined. And they say that the so-called 1%, I call them
right,
the 1% of the satanic pyramid, so to speak, or the 1% of the matrix. They're not the 1% of the divine matrix, but the
right.
1% who's ruling. Yeah, it's all intertwined. Once you go down that rabbit hole, you realize it's all one conglomerate. It's
Right,
not no separatism, Republican, Democrat, all that. It's all one and the same.
right. Yeah, yeah.
It's true. It's true, but we're thank goodness we're breaking out of it, right? Thank
Yeah,
goodness. And I've always, and some of us have always been um a little more advanced in terms of just being able to see through the illusions of this world and matrix. But it's really beautiful and refreshing just to even see people who may not get everything, but they're still like connecting those dots, and they're still, it's like this is sacred rebellion that's happening. It's a beautiful sacred rebellion.
I like that.
Yes, yes, it's a beautiful sacred rebellion that's going on, and it's sacred because it's not a rebellion that's like me versus you, me versus the system. It's
Yeah,
I'm rebelling through being on Higher Vibrations beautiful YouTube channel with my beautiful sister Mela. I'm rebelling through how I eat, going back to nature, organic
yeah,
foods. Again, not perfect. We don't have to say that. We have to stop even realizing, like, when we say certain things, like, shifting to like living more naturally, living more organically. It's not about judgment. We're even getting out of that paradigm. I'm realizing that a lot of we've been taught, like, oh, don't judge, don't do this. And it's true, we shouldn't judge, but not everything is a judgment.
yeah,
It's okay to say that this is no longer aligned. This is not resonant. That's not a judgment.
yeah.
And just
I,
make the changes. I think that shift, even of not being so hard on ourselves, and not being and taking it easy with the way that we shift. Yes, Spirit's been very clear about make it easy. And I want to share that with the collective. It doesn't have to be as tedious. When I say it, meaning the shifts, the changes, the getting out of our own way, the self-sabotage, it doesn't have to be as hard as we're thinking it is. Again, thinking. It can be easy. It can really truly be easy. Even the shadow work can be easy. I'm even breaking out of all of that. Like, dang. Like, we've been making it hard, but I think that's part of the programming too.
yeah, yeah. It's a self-perpetuating prison.
Yep.
Like you don't have to just walk away. Like we've been the wardens, we've been the guards in the prison itself all
Yep.
this time. Yeah, the
It's true.
bosses have been gone forever. It's like crazy that it's still do.
Yeah. Like they said, we're really our own worst enemies, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I mean, it's not entirely our fault. Part of it, again, is the programming of the matrix. But once you realize, like, dang, I'm really creating the problems myself. We really, what they say, making a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah,
That's what we do so much. But I think it's especially for us beautiful light workers, star seeds, whatever you want to call it, beings of love and light. It's so, so important that we move into this mindset of just taking it easy, and you're exactly where you need to be. I know we hear that a lot and it's cliche, but like I encourage all of you to really just surrender to that truth, like even feel it in your bones, in your body, in your blood, is that I'm exactly where you need to be. And then you'll learn to celebrate where you are, even if it's like the most mundane life. Oh, another thing that came to me is too calling the mundane fundane. It's now
ooh, I
the
like
funding.
that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm going to be creating something around that because I think it's really exciting, is making the mundane fun in
Yeah,
life. Because a lot of us are still even breaking out of the program too. Like, my life sucks, my life is boring, etc.
right.
If we're not on the world stage, so to speak, or we feel like we're not as seen, see yourself. God sees you, the divine sees you,
Yeah,
and make the best out
they
of
see
whatever
us
life you have.
most. They're the loudest.
Hmm.
I don't know the right word. What's the verb of like sight? The like they're the ones that are seeing you the most, right?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how closely they've been watching us.
Yep.
Not in a scary, creepy way. It's not like a stalker kind of style, but it's like,
Hmm.
wow.
Yep.
And
Yep. It's
playing,
so
like you
true.
said. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, love.
Play. That's the secret sauce of everything that I mean in life, everything. I've often been asked, how come I'm not bored? Like over and over and over again. How can someone actually be actually bored? It's a choice.
Yep.
It's a
Oh my
choice.
God.
needing to be overstimulated far too often. When if you go in the quiet for a minute, dude, you know how freaking exciting my days are? It's even the days I'm not meeting with anyone, you know, like not even going, I'm still in my pajamas kind of day. And like still all this input, all this information, like we got to go today. We got, even though it was happening here, we got to go to these obsidian pyramids, and there was an obelisk there too, and there was a stargate that had light, like track lighting, kind of blue lights swirling on it. And then we went through this whole different place, and this is me doing the dishes. Like I'm doing the dishes, and all when we interact with water, it's so easy to, it's like a conductor of spirit. It's so easy to connect with the higher, your higher self, with everybody, with galactics, interdimensionals, God themselves, you know, creator, source, light, love. The 27 mothers are coming in a lot right now, these nurturing, like, and they're like, I experienced them as being very like Creole, kind of like real, like Southern, like they're amazing. Like African descent kind of way too. They even wear the same kind of clothes from this old tribal kind of time.
I've never heard of them. 27 mothers?
This is what's been, I've been coming through when I do meditations lately. They're like, there's the seven elders, the 12 grandfathers, and the 27 mothers. Sometimes the 12 grandfathers are 12 fathers. They change sometimes, but it's usually the 27 mothers are like this nurturing, and they sing in this a cappella way, just their voices, and it sounds like they've got instruments playing.
Wow.
It's crazy. I'm just inviting you guys in my head saying, see, it's not boring.
No, that's absolutely. Let's hold that thought. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to have to use the restroom. I'm sorry.
Okay.
TMI, but I'm going to be back.
Good.
I'll be right back.
Okay. You know, and while she's gone, I'll just say, you know, like there's oh, this isn't a Zoom meeting right now. Though we do have a Zoom meeting every Wednesday that starts at 5 p.m. Central Time. So that'll be like 3 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Eastern. And that would also be like, oh gosh, now I'm using, I don't remember every other time zone, but so this right now is just this is a show where we're having a conversation with our lovely friend and soul sister. She's been part of this collective awakening experience with intent for quite some time. She's an energy alchemist in a lot of different ways. I'll explain in a little bit. This is what she says in her thing, is that she's a spiritual retreat facilitator, kundalini yoga and yoga practitioner, and intuitive spiritual guide specializing in abundance teachings, and 144,000 key holder of the Christ consciousness template. She also hosts intimate women's gatherings in the Phoenix, Arizona region. Most importantly, being a pure-hearted, loving being is what is most important to her. There's also a couple of different things in the description of this video, so you can find how to connect with her. And I see she's back, so I'm gonna like re-invite her. I'm just describing it, what kind of background you guys have, or you have, and I was wondering, what kind of sessions do you provide? I know that in a minute we're probably going to do some type of like energy something for the people that are here in the audience, like whether it's just us still chatting or pulling out some cards or whatever. But I often forget to mention that there's ways to get a hold of people, and how would someone expect, once they clicked the link in the description of this video, what would they expect from a session with you?
I would say don't expect.
That's a very
Don't
good
even expect. Yes. But I will say this: if you were to expect something, definitely expect to have very sacred space held for you to be very vulnerable, for you to break open. I'm very good at that. I also specialize a lot with shadow work. Me being a Scorpio, like I'm very good at going deeper into the shadows and helping people to see, like, for example, if they have a certain wounding or a trauma, to see such a profound different perspective around that trauma. And again, not just the or not even just trauma. It could be just something that is just unpleasant in your life
Right.
or whatever it is. I feel like my biggest gift is just to help make people's life easier and to help them get a bigger perspective, gain a, I don't want to say bigger perspective. I'm trying to be careful with my words too, because again, it's like a program, because it's not a bigger perspective, because that kind of feels like I'm saying like my perspective's bigger than somebody else's. It's not that.
Right.
It's more of a divine perspective. That's what I would say. To have a higher perspective, not from me, not taking on my perspective, but even finding harmony in the intuitive messages that I have, that I'm gaining. But I'm really good at making it coincide with the intuitive message that that person is getting, even if they're not recognizing that it is intuitive or
Yeah.
whatever they're feeling. I'm able to hold space in a way where I can help people understand that whatever they're feeling, to trust it, to
Right.
really trust it, and to discern when it's actually intuition or the overthinking mind. So
Yeah.
that's really important as well.
I love that you brought this up too, because this is such a big, where there's a collective dark night of this. Hey, it's 911 right now. A
Woo-hoo.
collective dark night of the soul happening right now. And for those who don't know, so it's, I don't like the word that they use. A lot of the words that we have are kind of archaic, or like the reason we say dark night of the soul is that in the, oh, I don't even remember anymore what year that was. I tried to look it up, but the 20th century Swiss psychiatrist who founded analytical psychology named Carl Jung, your people pronounce it differently, Jung, um,
Yeah.
had described the part of us, the inner child part of us that we kind of edit off or dismiss into the recesses of us someplace, um, due to like overcorrection by parents, peers, loved ones, teachers, so on and so forth. We want to fit in. We want to we belong. We want to be loved. And so a lot of times we'll naturally, not even realizing what we're doing, sometimes we're being told to do it, to edit our character. And as a result, that inner child, that scorned self that was taught that crying means you're weak, gets hidden down into your sacral chakra. It turns out they're in your sacral chakra. It's crazy when you go.
Mm.
I can go into people's chakras and energetically, and you hear children, plural.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I mean,
crazy.
it's the creative center. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. And so, what shadow work is then is choosing to do something about integrating this. Isn't that right? Do you want to explore that a little bit more?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I mean, really it is, you know what's interesting is like we're too busy focused on getting older. We need to be getting younger,
Mhm.
getting back to that purity, as you said, that pure heart. And children, before they're tainted by the world and before they're programmed by the world, our parents, anything external, it's that sense of purity, it's that sense of innocence,
Yeah,
it's that sense of fun, it's that sense of play. So I just love children so much because it's that, there is no ego until there is an ego. And when I say there's no ego, it's not that they don't have an ego, but it's just not so monstrous to the point where it's dominating our lives. And I did want to mention something too about the darkness or the shadows. We've been also taught too that the darkness is negative or evil. There's so much beauty in light, in pleasure, in transformation
yeah,
in the darkness. Your womb is dark. When you go to sleep, it's in the darkness. We tend to associate darkness with evil and negativity. And I got a very strong, very, very strong, um, claircognizant um message, divine message that we need to be embracing the darkness. That's actually how we really, really, really get to the light, especially in this world. Embrace the darkness. Not all darkness is negative, so that's something to pay attention to too.
it's
you
the
know
void.
it's the void, exactly. It's the clean slate. It's, I mean, It's where everything comes from, is the darkness. So we must honor the
And everyone
darkness.
has the void, but it feels instead when you go there, instead of it being scary, now that I think I had the same translation for a long time. You go there now and it's like you're charging your phone. That's what it's the act of plugging in yourself into
Right.
this womb. It's like a void, but it's a womb. It's like
Yeah,
being in your original room.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's when, like I said, the biggest transformations happen is when we can just allow ourselves to submerge into the darkness. And not
Yeah.
everything that we think is light is pure. And not everything that we think is light. Again, think. And again, I'm not saying the light, of course, we want to go towards the light, right? We want to go, but we take it so literal and figuratively that we're missing the bigger point that the darkness and the light are really one and the same. They're both love.
Right. Yeah. And it is of love that we're being asked to be drawn to more now, and that's why we're doing this. Like we're it's like we it's almost like your whole house vomits into your living room, because now you have to pick up each thing and say, do I use this? Right? And it can feel messy and it can feel disruptive, but it's trying to help you to remember to look at these things so you can then integrate and or reintegrate these aspects of you, the piece of the puzzle that's been under the sofa all, the whole time you lived where you're at,
Yeah.
since your last move kind of thing. And to be able to become whole again.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't, the dark night of the soul or whatever people want to call it, because again, these are all just, this is just English language.
Yeah.
English language is very dense. It's
Yes,
not
it
the
is.
highest expression. So let's give each other grace. So you may say it another way, I may say it this way. It doesn't matter to me. We all know what we're talking about, right? It doesn't have to always be suffering and trauma and depression. That plays its part too. If you're
Yeah.
feeling depressed, you know what I say? Beautiful. Great. Congratulations if you're feeling depressed. What that means is that you're tired of the BS in this
Yeah.
world. What that means is that you're tired of the drama. Good. Congratulations for being depressed. See, it's that perspective shift. And you know, it's interesting. Yeah, like you said earlier, we've all been this year going kind of through that dark night of the soul. I'm in it right now, but you would never tell.
Yeah.
You would never tell that I'm in a dark night of the soul right now. Like literally have been going through some because again, my perspective with it, my perspective shift. And there's also this deep knowing when you're a pure-hearted soul and you're super genuine and you're a loving person. Again, not a perfect person. We shouldn't even have to say that. But when you're a person that is capable of taking accountability, when you're a person that is operating from not why is this happening to I'm not oh my god this is happening but you know what can I learn from this what's the opportunity for growth when you operate like that that's when the miracles happen and you just have this knowing that I am protected and I am divinely guided and whatever I'm going through right now is necessary whether it's karmic and it may not be karmic sometimes it's part of your just your mission your dharma, your soul contract. Sometimes it's just part of, and like you said, what's the phrase through the fire again? The
Purification.
yes, purification through the fire. Sometimes it's that as well. It's that remembering. You know, it's multifaceted sometimes, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all love. That's what I do know. So,
Yeah. And it's not okay, so here's the experience. I was 4 years old and I died. This is a
mm,
clinical death that happened.
mm,
Um, and I wasn't supposed to. The plan was that was going to be it, and I would come back. Like I would be, you know, I would probably be just about preschool age by now. Is kind of how I
mm,
understood it. Anyway, um, uh, and I decided to come back. There was an option. There was enough free wills who had shifted that I could do what I was going to do later in this body.
mm,
And so, as I chose to return, it was like a table. And it's not really a literal table, but that's the best way to describe these glowing, look like stones. And
mm,
each one of the stones represented trauma that had been not healed.
mm.
Now, the thing about this is there was far too many pieces of trauma on this table than there should have been.
Yeah.
Like What happens is when we come in here and we inherit the trauma, is us choosing this trauma, by the way. When it's not resolved while we're embodied or during the transition into the away from this life period, if it's not resolved, it gets left unhealed.
Oh
And
yeah.
so a lot of times what will happen is in the incarnation cycle will continue. The person will keep coming back with the trauma that they had before, which is like the Atlas idea of like carrying the whole planet on your shoulders, and then also having trauma that's similar in this lifetime, so you have something to point at, and so that
Mhm.
way you'll be able to come out from underneath it. What had happened though was that, just like this Atlas example, people weren't able to, it wasn't working. And so there were some of us, and it's most likely, if you're listening to this conversation or a part of this conversation, you're one of these people that I'm going to talk about. Is that then there was a call. There was a call sent out through the celestial heavens asking for help. And those of us who already had the experience were the ones that were picked. Everybody raised their hand. Everybody wanted to come.
Mhm.
And so here I was sitting in front of this table, just like all of you did. And I filled up my backpack way more than anyone else had suggested, and we chose. And I feel like that I am honored by the trauma, though I would never want to cause that on anyone else, ever, in any situation. In fact, I'm very famous for being the mama bear, like,
Mhm.
but anyway, this was an honor that I'm glad for. I'll look at people who don't have very much trauma, and it's so freaking hard for them to heal. They seem to be the ones who are in most disruption. Like those of
Yeah.
us who have something that we can point at, and we have a focus, a means, that's what the thing is. It seems easier somehow to heal through it. And just like you said, it doesn't have to be traumatic anymore. It's like playing a video game. Okay, now I'm getting into the big boss. Okay, now what do I do? And you're like talking to your friends. Okay, do you have any tips? And it gets to be exciting. And
Mhm.
the celebration energy that comes from spirit isn't meant as condescending. They're celebrating you. They're really glad you made it to this point. And to give yourself a little bit of grace, as you said, so perfectly, Layla, was that, you know, we overjudge ourselves and think that we need to like do something so much bigger, when simply the act of getting out of bed today is actually helping the energy around you too. It's not just
Yeah.
helping you,
Yeah.
you
You
know?
like literally congratulate yourself for getting out of bed in this
Yeah.
world of density and all that's going on, especially us being super empathic. It is a miracle to even get out of bed. Absolutely. And I did want to mention too what you were talking about. It's like this paradox of, I'm sorry, I lost my thought. We were talking about, what were you mentioning? Oh, people with trauma. People
Yeah.
with trauma. Yes. So yeah, the people who don't have as much trauma, that's interesting paradox that we should pay attention to. And the reason why they go through it harder a lot, I feel like, is because they can't relate.
Yeah.
There's this sense of, of them kind of feeling in a sense separate. Like, what comes to me when with people who've been through like narcissistic abuse, and the codependent person, how they are still in this entanglement of narcissistic abuse, and it's really hard for them to get out of it, but somebody else is like looking on the outside with a very one-dimensional way of thinking. They're like, well, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just get over it? And it's like, but they don't understand or understand the deep, not only the psychology of narcissistic abuse and codependence, but the mirroring, like you were mentioning before. They don't understand that. And even like the deep lessons, it's not just as easy as saying get over it. I mean, the person can literally leave a narcissistic person, and there's still that lingering energy where they're unhealed and they're still incomplete. I mean, they can go no contact, as what they say. And, but, me being someone who's experienced a lot of narcissistic abuse in my life, I have such a I can understand why people don't just leave, or why people don't just get over it. It's,
Right.
yeah, it's like when you do go through that level of trauma that literally feels like hell, it creates such a connection
Yeah.
and an empathy with everyone. It's like no longer like just looking at things as black or white. There's all these gray areas. You're able to see things, and again, in a multidimensional way, in a
Yeah.
multifaceted way, from many different angles, that people who may have not went through a lot of trauma or have this picture perfect life, right? But you know what interesting about that, those people who may not have went through a lot of trauma and they have this picture perfect life, those are the ones that are most attached, that I found, to the matrix. They're the most attached to the matrix that
Yeah.
I see. The ones who have that cookie cutter life, so to speak,
Right.
cookie cutter image.
I really that's a good observation, and they tend to be the ones that are always counting the money all the time too, like that dragon sickness that you hear in these old legends. You
Hmm.
know that it's all about this matrix and the dollar signs. You know, like I not to say that we're leaving the importance of money and stuff, though we're still in use of it right now, and so there is an equal energy exchange that needs to occur, honestly, even if there isn't going to be money. There always is. It's just that um, as we're finding these different, here's what's really fascinating. Let me just jump to it instead of trying to explain it. Um, I found that most of the narcissists that I've met have been deeply empathic people who have attachment disorder. Attachment
Hmm.
disorder, this is me and my psychology background. It just, it's one of those things is that an attachment disorder occurs in an individual who is somehow overly or not enough supported by the parents.
Yeah.
Overly is not what exactly it means when they say that. They're like,
Hmm.
where they're not actually, you know, um, and there is hope for them, but it's not you who's going to fix them.
Oh, you can't. It's not possible. I mean, that would go against the laws of one, of free will, in a sense,
Exactly.
as well. That's a great. I love that perspective, and it's true because, I mean, again, it's just going back to the inner child. That's just a wounded little child, a
Yeah.
wounded little child. And one thing I also learned is that the codependent and the narcissist are actually. This may be a tough pill to swallow. They're two sides of the same coin. They really are. The difference is that the codependent, because they're both looking for validation. They're both, the narcissist is looking for that narcissistic supply, right? But the codependent's looking for the love all in the wrong places, right?
Yeah.
But it is two sides of the same coin. And that gives you a deeper sense of empathy. And on a grander scale, they're actually helping you for your biggest. I mean, going through narcissistic abuse is one of the greatest initiations in the human experience, to liberate your soul. Trust me, it's like you will never, like, you won't even believe how divinely powerful and amazing you are until you go through, again, purification through the fire.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes. You're
'Cause that is
right.
some that
There's
is some
power.
hellfire.
Yeah, dude. Like this is my favorite example. You get something stretchy. Oh, I have a better one on my wrist, but I'll use this one. It's bigger. Is that the narcissist experience this? Let's say that you're tethered somehow to the tip of this, and the narcissist will be is the anchor, and it feels like they're causing you some kind of. And yeah, I'm not saying stay. Okay, just to be clear, but we're finding ourselves we're held back by it, and once every one of us we need to be under this pressure somehow.
Mhm.
And once we're finally done and we stretch just
Snap.
beyond it, we fly. Rather
Mhm.
than if there was no resistance, we would just it wouldn't cause what we needed to be able to do. And every one of us, I know every one of us have our narcissist experiences. I met somebody the other day who they came from a family of 7 kids, and 6 of the kids are narcissists, and so are both parents. It's like, wow, you came into some density, and they were the baby of the family, but like,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
I can say I
Wow.
appreciate my experience with the narcissist that couple of them that I had experience with, though I'm not going to run back in that fire again.
Hello.
Yeah.
But you've done it, you've done enough work to not, it no longer is even a desire, you know?
Yeah.
All right, you're just not even an energetic match to that, because two opposing frequencies can't occupy the same space. So it's
Mhm.
an opposing frequency. And that's another tough pill to swallow when and again, no matter what you want to call it, narcissist is just a title. These lower vibrational beings who have no self awareness, you know, at some point we were not self aware, but what liberated us, the reason why many of us, and mind you, codependents can have, or whatever you want to call it, just more pure souls can have narcissistic tendencies too. That doesn't mean you're like, it's kind of like going back to what you were saying, that 51%, some of us have a higher percentage where it's just like, okay, maybe you can be clinically diagnosed as a
Right.
narcissist. But most of us, to some degree, we've had a lot of that, those tendencies that even attracted us
Right.
to that type of person anyway. And that's a tough pill to swallow, is to say, again, going back to the mirrors, like, how are you mirroring back to me? Like,
Yeah.
that was a huge tough, that pill didn't even want to go down my throat when I was trying to
Yeah.
swallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was stuck because I was like, I cannot, I want to gag that pill up. But I was like, let me swallow this pill and digest it and let it out because
Yeah.
it's needed to, I need to just let it move through me. Mind you, I'm using a metaphor here, or analogy, I should say. But yes, an analogy. But yeah, I had to let that pill move through me and not resist it, to say, you know what? Thank you for mirroring my own self hatred. Thank you for mirroring how much I've abandoned myself, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So many different things. So
Yeah.
that's the tough pill. And I think that's also going to be a big part of our liberation, is to realize, like, we're creating this. No matter how good of a person you think you are. I am such a good person, a loving person, and I know that. But if you're not good to yourself,
Right.
what does it matter how good of a person you are? What does it matter? It won't.
That's the biggest message I've been consistently getting for a while, by the way, is this the block. So we are addressing what's blocking each one of our chakras right now when they do the shake up thing. Some people call it the shake up or whatever, but it's really the mirrors, right? Fear reflects fear, love reflects love, chaos reflects chaos, so on and so forth. Choosing the love isn't always our immediate response, knee jerk reaction kind of thing. Um, is that when we are noticing the block on the throat chakra, you know that the throat chakra, what blocks the throat chakra are lies. And we all know that. So we think to ourselves, oh, and the outward lies and so on and so forth. And then you can get into some drama, which is the opposite of what spirit's suggesting right now. It's not about jumping into the drama. What they're talking about that's blocking our throat chakra is the lies you tell to yourself about yourself,
Yep.
specifically low self-worth words.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. When you said lies, I wasn't even thinking about lying to other people. But you actually can't be a liar unless you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
That's always the foundation of any type of liar, you
Right.
know? And I'm talking about those liars that lie to, truly hurt people, take advantage of people, and also how it mirrors back into your life. Man, I'm telling you, that's another big pill to swallow. Us beautiful, pure souls can be the biggest liars. If you're a people pleaser, you're a liar.
Right. The chameleon. Most empaths were chameleons at some point in their lives, at the very least. I
I
think all
I
of us
I
were.
have, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
Okay.
yeah, like, I was the biggest liar. Not, and again, not lying to hurt people. It was lying because I was not realizing, like, wow, you're lying. You don't realize how powerful you are, Layla. Why are you going over and beyond? One of my biggest karmic lessons in this lifetime has been with relationships, specifically sisterhood. Especially us women, we have a lot of wounding with other women, unfortunately. And I, mind you, I'm somebody who loves women. I love men. I love everyone, but I
Mhm.
love connection. And a big wounding of my life has been like in those relationships. But I had to realize again, Layla, it's because you're giving 100% to everybody else. 110%, you're giving 70% to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. Again, tough pills. We have to let our ego, that's another ego trap, is I'm such a good person. Why is this happening to me? You know, we
Hmm.
have to get even past that, go deeper, go a
Yeah.
lot deeper.
And we see instead of them being curses, they're gifts wrapped in shit paper. You got to open that up sometime.
Yeah, and we try to clean it. We try to clean up that poop. And look, we got our own poop to clean up. Okay, so I'll hold space for you away from the poop. I ain't trying to smell it. I ain't trying to clean it up.
And that's the thing is you can't jump in the pit to help somebody else out of the pit. That's the big thing too. What Spirit says, do not go to them, for you too shall be lost, especially during this time. Um, and what that means is you can be the voice. You can say, hey, look, see, there's the footholds. That's how I got up, and you can use them too. You know, you can be by example. Show them that now you're going to move on and do your next thing, and they'll see your light glowing from the distance that you're at. However, if you jump in the pit, you're both in the pit now. Now what?
And trust me, and usually you'll get you'll be the one left in the pit.
Right.
Because again, there's just those tough lessons, and it's not, again, personal. It feels personal. And when I say it's not personal, this is another thing too. I'm always going deeper. When we say things are not personal, they're not, but they don't feel good. They
Yeah.
don't resonate in the body. And we don't have to say it's not. If you don't feel good, don't let anyone gaslight you and tell you it's not personal.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it true, it's not personal and it's not judging, but it doesn't, you can tell I'm not supposed to be experiencing this. This is very low vibrational. This is not love.
Right.
It's not pure. So either we're going to have to find harmony some way without trying to force it, because it takes two to tango when it comes to these beautiful relationships. But if the other party or even you was not seeking that harmony, either you're going to eventually separate ways anyway, but it could happen through a clash, or it could happen gracefully once you have that self-awareness. But don't be gaslit into thinking because you realize something doesn't resonate that you're taking it personal.
Right. Right. So for people in the audience, what does gaslighting mean? I know, but it's good. You want to share what that means?
Oh yeah, well, in a nutshell, it's in a sense a form of projection, but it's different from projection because it's not like somebody's project. They're trying to make you doubt yourself to where you're gaslit into, like, now you don't trust yourself. You are ignoring your intuition,
Right.
where you're not feeling, where you're going down this rabbit hole because, again, is it love?
Yeah.
Is it love? Is and when, again, love just doesn't mean my way or the highway. Are we seeking that harmony?
Yeah.
Are we seeking that harmony? Are we seeking that understanding with each other? Is it always the same? Also, too, pay attention to patterns, your patterns and patterns of other people.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's not always yeah, don't take it personal, true, but that doesn't mean to ignore how you're feeling about something.
Right.
And then another thing too is express it. I think we also, and again, maybe some situations, it depends on the person too. There's a lot of nuances to it, but going back to that throat, a lot of times we just got to let it out. Like,
Yeah.
speak your truth, but maybe, and a lot of times, I don't want to say put your emotions to the side. Let your emotions run through you, but healthily. And maybe you need to have a talk with yourself or rehearse. That's one thing I used to do. I used to rehearse and have a lot of dialogue with myself. Maybe it's a Gemini rising thing. We talk to ourselves a lot. So, but yeah, have a dialogue with yourself, have a dialogue with the divine, your angels, your guides, your oversoul,
Yeah.
the benevolent beings, and then express it to whoever, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and letting yourself be in that. So, like another part of the what gaslighting is too is they are it's typically there's an experience where it not always is it a narcissist, okay? Because this is actually something that happens in the whole world. Is they make you feel crazy, make you not believe yourself, not trust yourself. Like it took me probably 3 years after leaving a long term situation with somebody that was actively involved in narcissist behavior. They cut off all relationships around you. Eventually, you don't have anybody else, them, just them and you. And they've gone to each person and like said crazy things that you've done that you hadn't done. So when we go to reach out to those people, they already, because you are an empath just like I am, and we feel them going, really, like because they were trained to think that way by this individual going in your life and going these different places. What's fascinating is that's also what a lot of doctors have done. That's also what, for me, this is my personal experience, like the brow beating stuff that is really common in that field, as well as other types of things. You'll get it in a subtle way if you invest it very much in media, including cinema, movies and stuff, radio. You know,
Mhm.
I
Oh yeah.
I can't count how many times they tried to make us scared during the 2020 period, that because I had to keep turning off the freaking radio whenever those commercials came on. It was on every freaking commercial break over and over again, like
Mhm.
to condition you to believe a reality that is false is
Yes.
really the act of gaslighting, right?
Yeah. And guilt tripping you as well into
Yeah.
it, like making you feel like you're not smart enough, even if this is the thing too, even if you don't know all the science too. That's another thing that we're shifting out of. If you're not so left brained, because I would say I'm partly left brained, but I'm definitely more right brained.
Oh yeah, me
In
too.
terms of, yeah, definitely more right brained.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm not educated or I'm not capable of learning new things and
Yeah.
understanding the science behind things.
It's a
But
feminine energy.
yeah, yeah, it's like I don't even need to know the science. I already know what's up.
Right. Yeah.
I already know the truth.
Your intuition told you last
Yeah, it's
Tuesday.
like,
Catch up.
yeah, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, I remember hearing a psychic say one time on, I remember back then, she was like, yeah, my guides told me not to take the jab. And I'm thinking to myself, common sense told me that.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, wasn't that a spectacular thing to witness? Not in a good way exactly, but holy cannoli and a bucket of snakes. They were bribing people. I was getting emailed. So they were trying to get me to do my daughter. And
Oh,
like
okay.
and like at first they offered $20 to do it. And
Such an insult. Like
yeah,
$20, really?
I know. It
They
got
think
up
we're
to
that desperate.
500. Right. It got up to 500, but I'm a lower socioeconomic status kind of person in
Hmm.
the world's view of things. I feel abundant every day, it's whether we make rent is a different story, like, but
But you
um,
always do, right? You always
we
make it,
always
right?
do. It always works
Hmm.
out.
That's how
Um,
abundant you are. Yep.
yeah. And though I saw what they were doing was targeting this group. They
Oh
were
yeah.
targeting people who were lower socioeconomic. They were doing lotteries, where it's like if you get the jab, you get a number, and whoever gets the if you get the right number, you get like $1 million or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Oh
That
wow. Like a
is a
lottery?
freaking paneled van offering you a candy underneath the bridge. Don't go to the van. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
they autographed. There was all these Hollywood people who came to Spokane that were offering autographs and selfies with people who would come get the jab. There was this whole like, if it's good for you, they wouldn't have to bribe you for one. And it was very much like the dude with the panel van and a candy, Don't go to the
Mm-hmm.
van.
Yeah, absolutely. And like they say, don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, yeah.
That is, that's just,
Jonestown.
yes. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. And like you said, anything that is a bribery or feels forced, or like you said, is targeting a specific demographic, you do have to pay attention to that. And what an insult. $20 is worth my life. Even I know in black neighborhoods, it was really an insult, because the stereotypes of fried chicken, black people love fried chicken, they love watermelon, right? Oh my goodness, it's just so ridiculous. But they were giving out buckets of fried chicken, and I just was thinking to myself, like,
They
not only
really
is that,
were.
yeah, I was thinking not only is that like super racist,
Yeah.
but it's like such an insult.
Oh,
Like, it's like fried chicken to risk my life with this, but they know, unfortunately, it's so sad, ignorant people are
Yeah,
going to fall for it,
I didn't
unless,
know that.
yeah, they were doing that, so yeah, it's just, I'm telling you, our intuition and your common sense, which is not so common,
Yeah.
will save you. Even if you don't know all the details, but you have to, like, this is not feeling right.
Well, culturally speaking, and this isn't meant as racist at all, it's a cultural thing. I've discovered over the years, because I mean, I've never seen color. That's just not me. Like I remember being told I was colorblind for like, well, and like it was supposed to be bad or something. But like, but as a result, I have a lot of different friends of different wherever their ancestors came from different places than mine. Um,
Yeah.
However, culturally, it's fascinating that they targeted food because out of all the different ethnic groups that I have in my circle, um, potluck style food is the least welcome in people with like melanated skin groups, like like you're talking about, like there my friends who are from this cultural background, ethnic background, whatever word you want to use, are least likely to eat poison food because they don't trust people's food.
That's true. You're right. Black people, yeah, there is like this stereotype, and part of it is some truth that Black people don't really trust other people's food or other potluck and stuff. But it was something. But it was, to me, more of the optics and the programming, the stereotypes, because they put it on the media. It's like, but it's like
Yeah,
it. They try to do it like they're doing something so good for this underprivileged community with this low socioeconomic status. It's more of a psychology thing.
yeah.
Even though, yeah, there's probably a lot of people that didn't accept the fried chicken, even if they were poor and they needed it. But there also probably was a lot of ignorant people of all, who took that bribery of
We're starving.
taking, yeah, who were starving. And not only that, just ignorant.
Yeah,
It's like free things, just ignorant. And ignorant is not like to demean people. Ignorant just means you just don't know.
means
You
lack of
just don't know.
knowledge.
You have a lack of knowledge. Exactly. They have a lack of knowledge and they took it. But yeah, it's more of a stereotype of thing. Like, look at these people, they're quick to take anything. It's like kind of like, in a sense, a humiliation ritual and
Yeah,
a mockery. And a mockery.
that's messed up, man. Yeah, they pulled all kinds of crazy stuff. I didn't know that one. Like,
Yeah, I don't know how we got on this tangent, but
yeah,
apparent
yeah,
yeah, but apparently it had to be said.
yeah. Well, and where we're at now is a cleansing of this past in a lot of different ways because we're choosing to make our. Oh, I think that the example I was comparing it to some of the narcissistic behavior was similar in the
Oh
media
yeah.
and that kind of like trying to trick you into doing things kind of thing, like and whatever the case is, whether you're currently in a situation with a narcissist or you have a history of it, you're among your people because we're all from this same background. And I feel like at, I've only just recently realized how healed I am from that. I
Hmm.
think an event just occurred somewhere inside of me about that. Um, and I have, I could honestly say that I am very grateful for for what had happened. I am grateful for all of it. I would I jump back into that cave? No, no, no. But like, and if you're there, I just want to reach out energetically to you and let you know that you're not alone and that you're going to be okay.
Hmm.
There is this difficulty because you're an empath, man. You love everybody. You want to take care of everybody, and to kiss and pat them on the head, like, but it can't be you. You can't sacrifice yourselves anymore. That time just ended just not very long ago, celestially speaking, astrologically speaking, is that the time of the perpetrator and the victim, as well as the, oh goodness, I can't even think of the word, the martyr. Those times are over.
Yeah.
The living in victim mentality is not possible any longer, as well as living as a perpetrator. in that energy anymore. It's in conflict so much right now. That's why you're driven to flight. That's why there's part of you that knows it's time to leave. If you're in that situation right now, you know more now than ever before it's time to go,
Yeah.
because we have abandoned that energy. We moved into a new one now. It's not
Yes.
possible.
Yes. And I want to share with you all, and thank you for that, Mela. Just reminding, Mela has a beautiful meeting every Wednesday. If you can make it, if you need that extra support, support her by showing up and support yourself by showing up. And of course, make those donations if you can, because we really appreciate your time. Again, it's not about the money. We shouldn't have to say that. Let's get our egos out the way. It's just about love and energy exchange. So please, if you can, contribute financially and even contribute with your energy, contribute with your love. That's what matters the most. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. And I do want to mention that you can't outthink your way out of this trauma and abuse. It comes to a point where we have to do it quantum. And again, that's getting it out of the body. That's getting it out of our DNA, our soul, our consciousness, shifting in a very, again, quantum way, not outthinking our way. We can learn all there is to narcissistic abuse, what's going on in the world, what evils are happening. And to a degree, that serves its purpose, right? To learn, to again, very left brain. But now we must shift over. We have to have that balance, the right brain.
Yeah.
We have to be able to shift consciously the energies out of our bodies. Your body is a beautiful source of enlightenment. We've also been taught too, and it's been a big spiritual conundrum in a sense that our bodies don't matter, right? Your
Right.
body matters so much in this human experience,
Mhm.
and it is completely a gateway to enlightenment. It's not all that matters, but it matters. It matters big time. And our bodies are a database. They
Yeah.
store so much. So move that energy. I would say definitely move every day, even move it through your consciousness, move it in meditation. Mela does beautiful meditations. I know Jay Zoltan does meditations. There's so many activations, and also tap into your own meditation through divine source, your oversoul, right? Meditate through the mundane, the fundane. That's a form of meditation as well, right? So yeah, you can't outthink your way of out of trauma. So that's a big one. Like we can think we're like, oh, I'm thinking about it. Oh, I know what to do. But is it in your body? Is it in your cells? It has to be a knowing. It's a beingness where there is really no more thought. It's just like boom, boom, boom. I am. I
Yeah.
am.
Funshine Bear was the bear that my family, like, they became my bear. Like
Oh,
here were the Care Bears. The Funshine Bear was the yellow one. And
oh, that's so cute.
yeah, and it's all about sunshine, funshine. Everything that we do, if we allow ourselves to be in the playful heart, we're in the wisest heart of all.
Yes.
That's
And
who he
release,
has.
yes, and release the guilt of
Mhm.
having fun. It's a big
Yeah,
one. In this day and time, a lot of us feel because the world is suffering that we have to suffer too.
yeah,
That's the martyrdom syndrome
yeah,
in a sense.
yeah,
And that is the illusion, the inversion of the empath is we feel we have to take on other people's issues. An empath doesn't mean you take on other people's issues. It means that I can feel and I empathize with you. I sympathize with you. I have compassion with for you. It doesn't mean I take it on. It doesn't mean that your life can't be fun because that's what we're moving into anyway. We
yeah,
have to show people the way, but the way you show people the way is you have to embody it. You have to
yeah,
be it.
exactly. And allow yourself to that grace that you're talking about. Allow yourself to honor each moment that you're in. Once you do, you realize you get so much more done. You're
Hmm.
more thorough, and
Woo!
in a less
Yes.
amount of time, a smaller amount of
Hmm.
time. And this way, this play, this flow, everything's about dance and song in my house. And I am not going to pretend I sing well or dance well, yet I do it because it's fun. If you don't
Yep.
have to be here, and instead you can be here when you're doing these things, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It shouldn't. A
Hmm.
toddler doesn't dance because there's not even music in the kids dancing. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
are they are the music, right?
yeah,
Little babies.
exactly.
Yeah, I can't, well, just a side note, Mel, I can't wait till we get together one day and just dance. I like that. That would be so
I know, right?
exciting. Like
That'd be
have a
fun.
beautiful abundance party.
Yeah.
And I want to say too that, I teach sacred dance as a form of divination. And what I always tell my clients, because they say that they same thing, I can't dance. That's usually the first thing that comes out their mouth. And I say, you know what? If you can walk, you can dance.
Yeah.
If you can talk, you can dance. If you can move, you can dance. It's not about being the perfect, Beyonce type of dancer. Sorry, I had my
That's
alarm
okay.
going off.
That's okay.
But it's not about that. Can you hear me? Can you see me,
Yeah.
Mela? I
Yes.
see your frozen love.
I
Uh-oh.
can hear and
I
see
don't know if
you.
you all
You must be
can
too.
someone maybe put in the chat if you all can see me.
Can you guys hear
I
me?
see.
'Cause as far
Okay.
as I can tell, we're good. It must be her
Where's
device, is what I'm.
Mela? I think she's there. Maybe she can hear me, but she's frozen on my end.
I can hear you. What? Okay, guys. Anybody want to comment and let me know? Can you
Uh-oh.
hear? Can you hear me? All
Retrograde
good.
energies.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see if I can see
So
anybody's
I'm
name in the
here.
chat. Can
I'm
anybody
gonna
see? Is
try to
Mela
write.
moving?
Here we
Because
go.
on my
I
end, I can't see
can
her.
write to you.
We see you.
Okay.
Okay, you see me. But
Um.
can someone let me know if you all see Mela? Or is she
You can
frozen on your
see
end? Everything's
and
good here? Okay, it must be me.
hear.
I'm going to come out. I'm going to
Good.
come out and I'm going to come back in.
Okay. Good. Good. She probably just saw I just wrote her a message. Okay. Everything is good here. Can you hear us both? Yeah, I thought so. Thank you very, very much. Her device went on, so that happens sometimes. She'll be right back. Um, and in this time that we're in, it's really good to talk about what we're talking about because some of the stuff that we often assign. Thank you very much, all of you. I really appreciate you letting me know. I don't know sometimes, it's like, um, is that we assume that because that's what we're trained to believe at an earlier time, that the best service work or service to another has to be sacrificial. You have to be sacrificing yourself. Why? That's a martyr. Why are we being taught to be a martyr when that's disempowering to everyone in the story? Instead, if we can, you know, and sometimes it's one of those things where we can, we just find that we have to, it's something we need to repeat, so you catch yourself speaking those low self-worth words. You catch yourself saying things or doing things that are contrary to what it is that it's normal. Thank you. Welcome back. We could hear you and see you, and they could see and hear me the whole time.
I'm so sorry. It's my alarm went off and it just
Yeah,
ruined everything.
it
So my
happens.
apologies.
It's okay. I was just talking about how, going along with what you were saying, that often we're taught that in order for a great service to be considered great, we need to sacrifice ourselves. We need to hurt ourselves, like the flailers, like causing self harm, and that derives the bigger reward. Why? Why the shirt off my back is more important than the one that's in the box? I can give it to you. You know what I mean? Like, why is it? And that's in balance, that's out of balance, and that's disharmony. So remembering, just like you had said, you had used 70% for yourself and 110 to everybody else, remembering that how we are meant to feed now, to feed the others from this cup that we all have, instead of sending out love and giving you love and giving you love, first we fill our own cup up till we overflow,
That's
and the
right.
overflow affects positively everyone else,
That's right.
right?
It's so true. That's been one of my biggest life lessons is to give from my overflow. And it doesn't mean that you can't give if because I think that's an abundance. I don't want to say a hack, but it's an abundance code too when you can give when you don't have nothing. But the problem is that or when I say nothing when you feel like you don't have enough, you can of course still give, but you're not giving to a point where you're self-sacrificing where you're hurting yourself, or you're trying to prove how much of a loving person you are. That's been a big lesson for me too. I didn't even really cognizantly, if that's even a word, cognitively. I didn't even know if I cognitively was aware that when I was giving, that a lot of times I would give, it was very subconscious. It was, I was giving to get validation. There was no other way around it. And I didn't realize it because I was like, I love, and I had good intentions or two, right? We hide behind good intentions. And it wasn't so much that you're hiding behind it, but it is in a way hiding. It's a very covert ego trick. We're tricked into, oh, I have good intentions. I am a loving person. But all the while, we're operating from lack. We're operating from low self worth. We're operating from, I'm not good enough. Very subconsciously, but you have to really pay attention. It's very subtle. The ego is very covert in that way.
Yeah.
And I had to check myself over and over and over again to say, wait a minute, Layla, you're giving from you're giving from a place of lack. You really are. And also too, we fail to realize that our love is enough.
Yeah.
Our love is enough. And not only is it enough, it's the most important thing. The
Yeah.
way you communicate, the way you care, the way you show up for others, the way you show up for yourself. What can be better than that? What is better than that
Right.
in terms of humanity?
That is community right there. The definition of community is communication in unity. And the way that you described that, and it's actually come up a couple of different times in this conversation too, is this measurement or not. And I would say not. That's my choice.
Mm,
Measurement, meaning measuring up, fitting some type of template or role. We're already that. We came here with our own template. We don't need someone else's. You
no.
don't fit in a mold. You are you. And um, like speaking our truth isn't always eloquent. It doesn't always sound perfect and elegant. Sometimes I stumble over words, and sometimes I use words that don't apply or that don't fit. But the most intelligent people, spiritual people, are intelligent people. The most intelligent people know what I mean,
Yep,
and it
because
doesn't matter.
I'm hearing your heart.
Yeah,
I'm not hearing the words. I That's another thing, is like learning to hear the heart beyond the words. Because again, this language, I mean, someone could be using all the most perfect, the most eloquent words in the book and be very just have just a vernacular that is just astounding. However, they're not coming from a genuine place. It's impure.
yeah.
We see that in the court systems. We see that in the news. Like, come on now, but robotic, no soul. But I
Yeah.
can hear someone who may have a few F bombs here and there and S words. And mind you, I'm not a big cursor. I do curse sometimes.
Oh, I
But
totally do. When
yeah,
the camera's off.
yeah. But I can deal with somebody who may have a few curse words flying out here and there if I can feel their heart, rather than someone who's pretending to be just so eloquent and so perfect
Yeah.
and just so prestige,
Right.
yet they're performative.
Right. Exactly. You're speaking from your heart, and so it sounds sloppy to us sometimes, but it's actually the perfect flow. You brought up the court thing, and there's this whole rabbit hole I've recently jumped down. The rabbit hole started when a white rabbit showed up in my yard, and everybody that I've said
Mm.
something about their life, they didn't believe me because no rabbits are seen around here because all the predators and stuff. But anyway, is this man? I just totally derailed what I was going to say. Do you ever do that where you do a disclaimer and then you forget what you were going to say?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so you were talking about the white rabbit
There was a
and
rabbit hole that I jumped down.
rabbit
Oh yeah,
hole. Yes,
legalese.
there we
That's
go.
it. The legalese. So um, the word spell, when you spell something, when you write something down, you're spelling it. It's just casting a spell, right? Or
Right.
broadcasting a spell. And most of what you'll find is the most current spell casting is this legalese. That's why there's such a density to have to deal with this paperwork, and like you feel like you seize up having to like sign a signature or go, to just tell the DMV, yeah, check the box, I want my license again this year.
Yeah.
It's almost paralyzing,
Yeah.
because of this. And the medical system does it too. And I really would love to mention this because I'm expecting there's going to be some fear porn people coming up around our world in the next few weeks or months, right? And when
Mm-hmm.
they do that kind of thing, they usually project the fear by making you feel in danger,
Yep.
and
Oh,
that's us.
that's how it's designed. Yep.
Yeah. And so remember that they're casting a spell too. I'm
Yep.
not telling you that what your doctor told you isn't true. I'm just saying, for me, in my experience, it turned out I didn't need all those medications that I had been taking,
Yep.
and I'd been operating under the belief that it was improving my health, when the word health shouldn't be in healthcare, because it's not. And
Yeah.
it's really good for trauma. If you got in an accident, that's a good place to go. But when it comes to like actual health, that's the last place I'll go for ask for questions. And it's that example, as they'll cast a spell. Well, you have this word, and you'll go to WebMD and look it up, and it's fatal, right?
Yep.
And then now you're investing in that fear. And now what's happening? Because that's my last part. I'll let you talk next, I promise. Um,
Oh my God, no, please keep going. Please keep going. Yeah.
is that
All
where
good.
we are right now? Is this like freaking bath bomb is what it looks like, but the cosmos is the bath water. Is It's this bath bomb of possibility of creation, this creation energy that's coming up, is all about manifestation. Every one of us now are more in alignment with our creation space than ever before. Whether you're a man or a woman in body, you have a womb. It's not
Yep.
insulting to say that. It's meant as a look. There it is. It's right there at your belly button. And this creation space is really activating. And so I think a lot of people are having the purge symptoms from it. Though if you let yourself do it, you can write the script of your tomorrow right now.
Yep. That was beautiful. So well put. And I'm very glad that you brought up the legalese aspect and the language that they use. It's all fear based, and it's also to keep you bound and as property. That what we don't understand, even coming into this world, birth certificates, social security numbers, they can't control the real free soul you, so they have to create an artificial you. They have
Right.
to create a fake you. And that's where the birth certificates come in. I mean, you're literally a corporation as soon as you're born,
Yeah.
social security numbers, all that. And that's a rabbit hole. I suggest you all who don't know about this, please do your research, because I went down that rabbit hole for a while. But yeah, even like you said, signing your name, everything, but that's how they control you. It's all through paper, it's through contract. And of course, it's through fear. Even the tax. Oh my God. Like when I hear people say, my taxes paid for this, I'm like, it's like, y'all have no idea. Yeah, straw man. Come on now. Absolutely. So yeah, it's the whole system, you know, what do you want to call it? Narcissistic, evil, devilish, all of it is it's just not of love. It's not of the divine. It's fake. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's illusion. It's all delusional. It's
Yeah.
all fake.
Right.
It's like, oh my God, we're educated. That's what they put. It's so interesting, the psychology that they put on top of on us. They know us better than we know ourselves,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And like I if you connect, this is what I do. Okay. I don't know if I'm weird or not. To me, this is my world. And so it's not weird, but I have been connecting and communicating with other beings for a really long time.
Hmm.
And it's just something that happens, and mostly telepathic. I'm not saying that like Phil shows up at my front door, ding dong, takeout. Can I hang out? Like it's telepathic, though.
Hmm.
Like, um, they usually feel like they're pulling back on trying to not be amused by the silliness of us having to pay for living in the place where we were born, paying for rent, paying for food, paying for being here. Is this concept is that we've accepted
Yeah.
until recently. um, it's it's peculiar to them that it was able to slide under the door, under the radar, where we wouldn't notice it. Like it's just regular. Same with taxation. You'd mentioned that. All
Oh
of
my
these
God.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually going down that rabbit hole of like how it's actually truly illegal for us to be like it's actually like considered even a crime against humanity that we're being taxed for anything. And what you said about paying rent, and we even got to pay to die. You got to pay to live. You got to be paid to be born. We have accepted it, and it's abnormal. It's not even natural. It doesn't even make sense. Again, it doesn't make sense when we live in such an abundant world, a universe, on beautiful Mother Earth, so abundant, can provide all of our needs.
Yeah,
Everyone can have a house, but again, that's part of the program. The illusion is like we got to create separation. We got to create hierarchy. We got to create this versus that. That's just the whole name of the game. We know it by now. A lot of times
right.
we're repeating things that we all already know, but a lot of times they have to be repeated so it can really we can just break out. It's almost like this combustion in a
Yeah,
sense of like enough is enough.
yeah,
Enough is enough. And I really feel like that's, and again, not from a place of anger, like, oh, I'm so angry. I'm a social justice warrior against the system.
yeah,
And maybe you are, but not in the sense of like fighting it through the anger, again, fighting it through our play, fighting it through our love, fighting it through like realizing what the real abundance is. To me, like having conversations like this with beautiful Mela and you beautiful people, that's the real abundance. It's so
yeah,
genuine, it's authentic, it's sincere, it's pure, it's fun. It's not about being perfect. It's just it is what it is and it feels good and it's activating. We can all leave this conversation feeling more empowered,
yeah.
feeling more like ourselves, feeling like it's safe to be me. It's actually safe, and also validating, not that you need validation, but
It's
validating
nice
like
though.
how you're feeling about everything, right?
Yeah. It's nice. It's if I would say that love and validation are my commodities right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to. That's my money. I don't know what else to say. Like that feels like that's also the time that we're actually in and also entering, because part of that prophecy, the part that everyone's super excited about is that, um, and it's this is the signal of bringing heaven to earth. They
Yeah.
say that we create heaven in our heart, and
Mm-hmm.
we are now entering into the fifth world.
Yeah.
That's in the prophecies as well as just proof in the pudding, where we actually freaking are, you know.
Yeah.
And while we uninvest in what we call the matrix, some people call it the 3D. I, I'm not I'm not so much jiving with this divisive language, and so it's difficult to, like you said, it's really dense, and there's so
Mm-hmm.
much division in our language,
True.
and just like permanence. I don't like the permanence that they put in language, the way that that's said, because everything we're doing right now is in transition, and everything that spirit talks about, like the big flash. Let's bring that up really quickly because everyone's obsessed about that, and we can, if we choose to manifest it to be a very profound and dramatic overnight kind of thing, except doing so is not the choice that most of our higher selves are choosing. The majority want out. Why did we not choose that? That's not going to be a long lasting experience. The result of a profound bang, 90% of the population wouldn't survive that type of ascension
Mm-hmm.
physically, because we're meant to stay in this body through ascension.
Oh
Um,
yeah. in the body.
right?
That's another lie we've been taught. We think we're about to get it. You're still going to be a carbon-based being, and but with silica, with the crystalline coming on, the DNA, but you're still going to be very much physical. We're not here to like leave the physical, you know?
Exactly. So we're not gonna like go, like you said, you're not gonna go drink the Kool-Aid like Jonestown style, and like there's been a lot of these like cult group stories from a long time ago coming up lately. I find that really fascinating. But this type
Mhm.
of thing is not what's happening, because if we had such a thing happen, most of the population wouldn't make it. They want as many souls to make it as possible. So it's a
Mhm.
gradual thing. The big flash, the big solar event is happening and has been happening for 5 freaking years, man.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. And
know,
I
like, have you noticed like all the solar activity that in fact, we're supposed to get a G1 through 3 geomagnetic storm tonight
oh
within the
wow.
next
Okay.
little while, if it's not already started, as a
Yeah.
result of these massive explosions that are coming back off the sun. We got all these comets that are hanging around the sun, and it's waking the sun back up again. And
Yeah.
we are having some pretty fantastic energy because of it.
Yeah.
That has been happening in small bursts for 5 years.
Mm.
You know,
Whew. Yes, so powerful. It's so true. And that's part of it's so interesting. We're getting out of religious programming, but what I've recognized, especially this year, there's been a big spiritual programming as well, and a distortion in how we've been taught, in terms of like we think that there's this flash that's going to come, that's going to save us. And like you said, the flashes have been happening. And I want to share something that came through very strongly from my guides. Newsflash, you are the flash.
yes,
Your solar plexus, your willpower, your activations. That is the flash. We are shining light on this world. And it doesn't mean, again, that there isn't some type of flash, but that's also still a savior complex. I'm waiting for this solar flash to come to save us. Where's your free will? Where's the dominion over self? And also, where is the fun in not being able to just really push through and activate yourself and to be your higher self, and to be magnificent and be great? And again, not in the way that the matrix, right, quotations, are the 3D, whatever people want to call it, not that form of greatness. Greatness to be you,
yeah,
to be safe, to be you, to share your love, to share your light, to share your wisdom. But that came through very strongly. Newsflash, you are the flash.
yeah, yeah. And we are. We're the one that's causing it. There's actually evidence. Yeah, I'm not a science mind. I can say I used to like science, and then I found a lot of things were missing from science, and that's what my thing is. It wasn't very long ago that they removed the ether, um, and stuff like that. And I don't mean ether like the stuff you put on your face, or that whole thing. But is that uh, first of all, as we flux through what's happening right now, we'll find that there's a bunch of different places that are reporting these things. And this is meant to assist those mostly who are still on the fence. Okay? So just use that your grain of salt when you invest in these things. So NASA, they're not often somebody I'm going to quote, but they've
Mhm.
discovered that there's this thing that they actually named the axis of evil. So
Oh
annoying.
yeah,
The big,
I remember you bringing it
okay,
up. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so we're drawing all of this stuff to us, right? It's all, we're doing that. We
Yep.
want that, and so we're creating that.
Yep.
By the way, we did just have a spike. See that? Oh, you don't see anything. Here, I'll show you real
Oh.
quick. In the Oh, it won't let me do it, will it? Because okay, well, um, yeah, we just had a spike in the KP index. Here we go. I'll go this way. This way you can see it. Just those that because it's you to know, and often feels very comforting to have this type of validation. So it's just showing you like this. But right here, you see it spiked to 7. A 7
Mhm.
would be a G2,
Okay.
G2 or 3. It would be counted as a G3 geomagnetic storm. So each one of these markers here is counted as a 30-minute mark. So that was 2 hours ago that it was at a 7.
Mm.
Though it will likely continue, and we're likely going to get. Oh, that's weird. Now it's white. How do I stop sharing?
There we
There
go.
we go. That was weird.
Yeah.
um, and so that was just a side note of this. That's what's happening right now. We're feeling it inside of us, and it's activating, turning on at parts of us while we're getting ready for Mercury retrograde on Sunday. So
Mm.
we're already in Mercury retrograde sensation,
Yeah, we're in the
right?
shadow phase of it.
The
Yep.
shadow. And then the last part that I wanted to just retrace for a minute regarding all of this is that if you're drawing all this stuff to you, you can also choose to not draw things to you. We draw. I remember the biggest irony in my life were the people who would come to me, and the people who were the most invested in like the drama when it would happen, were always the ones complaining about all the drama. You get what you ask for. Okay, so the 200 mirrors, the mirror bearers, what they're asking you to do is to, whether or not you can do it consistently right now, it's practice. It's all good. Though if you can put as much focus as you can in choosing to be in love, choosing to play, to
Mm.
be in the fun place, the
Yep.
fundane, rather than, you know, like you had brought this up earlier. What came to me when you were talking about this stuff is like, how many times in my life had I thought that brutal honesty was honesty, and so I should do it?
Mm.
Who told me that I'm the one that's to guide people in this world? Well, I can tell you this, is that what you're meant to do is to do whatever feels most calm, loving, and
Mhm.
natural. And
Mhm.
so the last part of that was that, because I asked, I was shown what I'm what I do now. Back in 2020, I was very introverted compared to now. I still am, but not. I just left the narcissist situation. I was in off the grid, with a little 4-year-old, and
Mm.
they showed me that I was going to be doing this kind of thing, and I said, "You got me screwed up for somebody else. You, obviously, this is the wrong address." And they're like, "Don't worry, because if it's not fun, it's not your job." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I moved on. Fast forward, I am doing like they showed me. I thought I was on TV, which I kind of am, and I was looking in people's windows.
Mm.
It's like I'm looking in your window, looking at you right now. That's how
Yeah,
I
right,
I
right by
trans
a window, right by a
right.
window too. Hmm.
So if it's not fun, it's not your job.
Come on
Now,
now.
what's that?
Yeah. I said, come on. Yep, I'm just
Yeah,
agreeing. Yep, I'm just
yeah,
ad libbing
right,
over
right.
here. Hmm.
And so, same is true for how much difficulty something is, because
Hmm.
we will often realize at some point in our awakening that we'd been acting as the banks of the river this whole time, when in fact we are the river. We're not meant to steer this, we're meant to flow. And it's difficult for us as a collective because we have been existing in a imbalanced divine masculine, man, woman, child, everybody, right? For
Yep.
way too long. And that's the
Yep.
whole trauma response stuff we've been doing. That that ultra independent kind of stuff. And we're learning out of that. So allow yourself to be that river.
Yes. I'm glad that you brought up the river too. And because the thing is, the reason, well, I'll circle this around. Sometimes it's hard for me to collect all my thoughts and like
I
kind of
felt
like connect it, but you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But I love what you brought up about it basically your job is to have fun in essential. We're taught to work hard. We're taught that you have to, and it doesn't mean that you're not putting in work. You are putting in work, but it's not work that feels like, again, like I'm a slave and things that I don't want to do. I mean, that's how the matrix works. It's a slave matrix. But back to what you were saying about the divine feminine coming online and like getting out of that wounded masculine energy is The feminine is the flow. It is the water. It's the currency, current, hence current. Like you said, riverbank, bank, money. That is how, where do you think these words come from? Like when we think of currency or bank, it's all in alignment with the water. And what is water? It's a very feminine element. And what is water? The essence of water. It's flow. It's purifying. It's very feminine in nature. Very feminine. That's why women, we carry babies, and our the moon is, Cancer, is ruled by Cancer. It's, when we look at this water energy and how the moon even affects the current, right? It's tapping in. If we want to tap into that abundance, there's a reason why the system has used these attributes of water to describe money
Yep.
and
Currency.
currency, and like I said, bank, and there's many more.
Yeah.
Cash flow, right?
Okay.
Flow. We have to return if we want that real abundance. It's not about how much you're doing, it's who you're being.
Ooh. Yep.
It's who you're being, not what you're doing. It's who you're being. It's not how much you can do.
Okay.
It's how, not even, you can't even quantify it. You can't
Yeah.
even quantify it. It's just going back to the I am. And again, we hear these things and they sound cliche because we repeat it over and over. But I feel like the more and more that it is integrated within us on a cellular level, it's like almost that aha, I get it now. It
Yeah.
is just the beingness. And I'm telling you, whenever, and I'm speaking from experience, and I know you've experienced this too, Mela, just being in your heart, being in that flow. And again, and I also want to say, I'm not negating the necessary um part of the masculine. We need the masculine, right? Because that is, but one thing I've been very clear on through my spiritual growth and evolution is that the masculine obeys, like, but not like an obey, like, oh, the feminine is above. It listens to the feminine in order to
Yeah.
put that action out.
Right.
And that's also how we've been taught too, like the woman is supposed to, or the feminine is supposed to obey the masculine. It's actually the other way around. And it's not a hierarchy thing.
Right.
It's not a hierarchy thing. Like, get
It's
that out your head.
your quality. It's not.
It's the quality, exactly. It's the essence of you. It's your nature, your feminine. So yeah, I think that's so beautiful. But recognizing that abundance truly is in the flow. It's in the zone.
Yeah. It was fun. My daughter just told me uh, her fairy name is Flo a couple days
Oh,
ago. Yeah,
really?
it's fun.
Aw. She's
Yeah.
so in tuned.
Yeah.
So sweet. I love that.
And it doesn't have anything to do with what kind of body you're in, gender wise, either. Like,
Right.
we're not being divisive at all here. It's acknowledging the divine feminine is because I know there's groups of people out there that are like, still scorned and still working on and still healing, unresolved trauma and stuff to do with gender and separation, stuff like that. What we're talking about here is um, an alchemical reality of
Right.
the fact that we have both. And in order for us to be in balance, we must use both. And instead of being this pendulum where it sways all the way over, it's actually meant to be a conversation like this of divine masculine and feminine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Absolutely.
the pendulum swings without such broad strokes. So
Right.
while we're doing this, we might feel weird, awkward, uncomfortable, unfamiliar. Things that we're not used to are happening. It's going to occur that way.
Oh, Mela, where's she at? You're alone. Can you all see Mela? Okay, there she goes. There you
Weird.
go.
It just had lost internet. I don't know what you heard me say last.
Oh yeah, honestly, it was a quick intermission. So yeah, yeah, exactly what you were just saying.
Yeah. And so now that we're aware that we are all divine feminine and divine masculine, and that the divine feminine had been absent, and the divine masculine who was left behind was was a is like a whipping boy. The divine masculine that got left behind got screwed up.
Yep.
And so now it's time to acknowledge this divine masculine and find out who they even are. We don't even really, we're still figuring out what divine masculinity really is. And also just this, playing to our our most highest qualities, our gifts, playing to, your talents is another way of saying it, is knowing that the divinity of all energy is equally yours. It's
That's
just
right.
about reaching out and connecting to what's in alignment most for the different moments that you're in, right?
Absolutely. I like to look at the masculine as the movement. It's the movers and the shakers of the
Yeah,
world. But the feminine is that energy that even motivates and influences the movement.
yeah,
However you want to put it, there's many ways you can personify or even explain the masculine or the feminine. But, in a nutshell, that feminine to me, they're both love,
yeah,
but I like to look at the masculine as the heart-based action, heart-based, like
yeah,
the divine masculine, the healthy, the true masculine in this human experience,
yeah,
you know? And just look at the feminine as like the nature, it's the essence. It's your I don't want to use the word hidden. It is hidden in a sense in terms of it not being tangible, but it is like your nature. It's your truest self.
hmm,
It's that
right,
purity, pure divine love. And I love that you mentioned the it's alchemical, the divine feminine and the masculine, because there also is, because everything is one, there is a science to it as well.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
And it's
really
it's
powerful.
it's about trusting yourself enough to allow yourself to be who you are and at your normal operating rate. And just as you had stated earlier, and we had talked about a little bit about this low self-worth talk, is it's actually leaving as almost like a connected entity that was connected, not like a attachment, I guess, like that, near to our brainstem.
Yeah.
And it's energetically leaving us, and we're noticing neck and back of the head type stuff going on. And as this
Oh yeah.
leaves, the low self-worth talk, the voice in the back of your mind back there, is not investing you so much into this low self-worth talk. And so you're not coding your DNA to receive this type of experience through manifestation in your shopping list to the universe.
Yeah.
Then while we do that, we begin to be put in a position to be able to reconnect with our truest being,
Yes.
and it'll get easier. All of it will. It just won't stop like for a long time. That's the thing. People ask, when's this going to be over? Well, it's every step is important on the stairway, and every gateway that we enter is equally important, though it's in the moment that we are, because just as you said earlier, you know the d- you are a drop of water in the ocean that becomes the wave, and you don't die away when the wave crashes into the ocean. You become, and we are
Mhm.
the many
Beautiful.
drops.
That's so beautiful. We are one.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's important that we stop waiting for it to be over and just decide whatever over means, right? Because that's perspective and that's relative, but more so just what can I make, how can I make the best out of each and every moment
yeah,
of my life? No longer obsessing over when is it going to be over, when are the ascension symptoms going to be over, or this and this and that. It's just, and I get it. Mind you, I get it. I think a natural human response to be over, anything that just feels uncomfortable or suffering or traumatic or whatever. I mean, I'm over it too. Trust me, I'm over it too. I'm over it. But not but and it's really, really important that we again recognizing everything has its place and its purpose. And it's part of that purification of the fire. I'm going to keep going back to that. I really thank you for saying that, Mela, because that's the perfect phrase. because I think that's really what it is. It's all part of the purification
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
self, of our soul. It's also a reconciliation that's been coming up big time this year, is this reconciliation energy
Yeah.
with our souls, and reconciliation of like who we really are, like remembering our divinity. It's also part of like letting go of the grudges, the victim mindset. All of that's part of the reconciliation process, realizing we're not, and mind you, no matter how, and I'm telling you, I know my loves, easier said than done. I'm preaching to the choir, and trust me, I'm even talking to myself
Yeah. Yeah.
with the thing. Trust me, the things I've been going through behind the scenes. Oh my God, I'm telling you, it's not for the faint of heart.
It's
I've
not.
been I've been put through some storms recently, and I'm not being a victim, but I'm telling you, God, Goddess, and I know we hear this is kind of like a Christian or a religious saying, God gives us the hardest test to its strongest soldiers.
Yeah.
It's true. It's not a punishment. It's not a
Yeah.
punishment. It's to show like what you're really made of and who you really are, and to stop thinking so third dimensional, one dimensional, is to really get out of the mind and realize like that miracle consciousness that we really are, that we really can experience.
Right. To show your quality is to persevere through the fire. And the purification of fire is not meant as a punishment, but a requirement in order to make it to the next rung on the ladder. And
Mhm.
exactly as you had said, we are. I'll get distracted by the things as they, like I'm that person. I much rather drop the engine on my toe than wrap my knuckles for 15 hours. You know what I mean? Like after a while, just keep hitting your knuckles on the side of the engine, or whatever. And like that is the kind of thing that I find to be overwhelming, are the small things that pile up. However, if I can step back from the experience and stay in the experience, just
Mhm.
like you said, you actually get to see the joy and the brilliance of the
Mhm.
moment that we're in. That you can see beyond the veil. It easily, every one of us can. I know it sounds silly me saying this is easy, but it really is. And that's just going into the joy that you've already discussed so much today. You
Yeah,
know,
that you discussed as well. We both touched on it so beautifully. It's that magic. And it really is that the alchemy. I'm realizing that the merging of the masculine and feminine, that beautiful marriage within of the masculine and feminine in all beings, is the alchemy.
yeah,
Is the alchemy.
but
And I think that's what is we're all being called to remember and to self actualize within who we are. The true, when I say who we are, like again, like who we really are, not who we think we are.
yeah,
Not the
oh yeah,
personas, not the personalities, not the identities, like the true beingness. And then you'll realize, wow, there is no separation. There has only been love all along.
yeah. You said realize the alchemy. We'd been on for 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 22 seconds. Just then, at that
Ooh.
second, I want to say
Wow,
thank you to
it's been
Hugo.
that long? My
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh, we're having fun, but we probably should wrap it up a little bit. I just want to say thank you to Hugo for the $5 super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Character looking really impressing. Whoa. It's funny, they don't actually let you see the icons. They, like on the restream. But
Oh, I love
thank you
that.
so much, Hugo. That really makes a difference. Really appreciate that a lot. Um, it's been such a fun and enjoyable experience talking with you. I was wondering, before we wrap it up, do you want to do like a general reading for the audience, or do you want to?
Yes.
Okay, well, we have
Yeah.
some time if you want to do that. We probably need to wrap it up soon.
Yeah, yeah, let's wrap it up soon for sure. Yeah, yeah, not to rush it. I just had no idea it was, see, again, 2 hour, but what
I
doesn't
know,
even matter. It doesn't even matter, but I just thought like, wow,
like
it seemed like a blink. Yeah, blink of an eye. Feels like 30 minutes, maybe a little longer, but not 2 hours and 22.
I know.
I'm here for it. Yes, let's do a reading. Do you have a prompt or
Um,
anything?
yeah, okay. What's the best? what can we expect for the coming week, or perhaps even better,
Mhm.
what's the best guidance to assist people in grounding in and balancing the energy that's coming in for them, the
Yeah,
gifts.
yeah, that's what I'm feeling, the grounding energy. I'm feeling like an energy of like grounding more into the present through all of the energies like
Yeah,
that we're experiencing. Like, how can we just kind of be in the eye of the storm, so to
yeah,
speak?
yeah.
Woo, yes, thank you. Woo. So I would like everyone at your own pace to just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Ground yourself, tune into your heart, center yourself, allow yourself to be here now. Take a deep breath on your own accord, on your own timing. Let's just focus on syncing the heart frequency, syncing and merging that beautiful connection between our mind, our bodies, our spirits, our hearts. Just allowing ourselves to really be here now and take a deep breath. Continuing to connect to the beautiful breath. There's nowhere else to be but here, always be here now. Thank you so much.
That was
Oh, thank you.
let it go.
Let it all go, y'all. Okay.
F it all is
So,
also a variation of that.
yes, and I love that it's also a heart that's shaped like it's a lot of earth energy, beautiful hummingbirds. I believe these are hummingbirds. Are those hummingbirds? I think they are.
Yeah, they're hummingbirds.
Yeah, let it
Yeah.
go. And what I'm
Very
getting from that automatically is like, to be honest, it's like spirit saying, let it all go. Let it all go. And what that doesn't mean is that, like, when I say let it all go, it doesn't mean that you can't think at all. You can't go, but it's like not being attached to this or that or whatever, like the attachments that we have. The attachments to even certain schools of thought in whether it's spiritual schools of thought, even if there's a lot of truth to it, there's so much beauty in just the isness, the beingness. And that's part of letting it go is we're just too attached to so many different things.
yeah,
We just need to move into the directions that we're called to move into as we're called to move into it without overthinking it or without even thinking about it at all. And mind you, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that the mind has its purpose. That's the masculine. It's very much masculine energy. But the mind is supposed to work in tandem with the heart and the soul and the spirit. So just really let it all go, like, and it's again easier said than done, but it's a practice, and it's just like, but the more that we can let it go and letting it go, you will know. As I will say this, you will know when you need to let something go when you're not present, when you're not truly present, and we're not really in our hearts, right? And we're not in that inner equilibrium state, the inner homeostasis. That's when we know we really need to let it, whatever it is, mean, go. And that's what's going to ground us. That's what's going to center us. That's what's going to give us that peace, is to just remember that everything is playing out exactly as it is. And it's, again, easier said than done. And I'm saying that over and over because trust me, as an empath, I can feel so much. And my heart goes out to everyone in the world who is like deeply suffering the deaths. And I'm not saying to ignore it either. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is just be here now. Whatever here is for you in each and every moment, just be. Be here now and practice it and embody it. Whew, yes.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Presence of mind.
Yeah. Presence of mind.
How do you be present? Well, it's the moment that you realize that every breath is the receiving of the gift.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call a gift a present, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's funny too because right before we came on, I didn't get a chance to answer back, but just before we came on, I saw that Elsa had written me, and Elsa, Snow, Let It Go, Frozen, like that all goes
Oh,
together,
yeah, let it go, right? Right? The Elsa, yeah, her name being Elsa and then let it go.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that, yeah. Yeah, it's really just powerful. I mean, again, another cliche statement, let go and let God. We hear it. Sounds like a very religious state, but it's like so true.
Yeah.
It's like so just so much truth to that. And a lot of things have to be cliche until we get it. And again, grace, compassion with self. We're saying this, and in the next moment, you're gonna be attaching to something else. It's like, damn it, she just told us to let it go.
Yeah.
While I'm over here overthinking this, overthinking that, but just let it all go. Be here now, be in your heart. Um, yeah, connect. I'm glad that you mentioned the breath, beautiful Mela, because that's really such a powerful conduit to just really connect us to the higher consciousness, higher ways of being. The
Yeah.
oversoul is said the breath. That's another reason why my name is Wind, is because that's the inner wind,
Ooh,
is our breath.
that's
So yeah, letting it go is just so much. The word that's coming to me is undone. We're becoming we're unbecoming in a
yeah,
sense to become, and it's like becoming undone, the doing, the what we think is done to us is like just letting all those layers of programming go. Like we're going to get to a point, even like a good example of this is like the worthiness
yeah,
example is like there's going to become a point in our ascension, in our growth, in our evolution, where we don't even have to say over and over, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. It just is.
yeah,
It just is. And that's part of the letting it go too, is like, but I get why we have to say it, because it's part of that remembering. It's all part of the process, and that's beautiful. But there will come a point in time where it's like no longer like I'm worthy, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm that. It just is. It just is.
it's the undoing of the conditioned indoctrination, whatever words you want to use,
The
of
programming, yep.
yeah, of us being taught the otherwise, that
Yeah.
being made to believe that, you know, it, someone else is the chosen one. There's one of them, and it's not you. That's what they've been telling us basically our whole lives. We're that trying to teach you that you're not powerful, you're not this or that and the other thing. When we actually are all those things, it's just that now it's unteaching, undoing what we've already learned. You must earn what you have learned, right? Like what Yoda says. Um, exactly that, and a little bit at a time. I would say that stuff doesn't. I don't need to do that anymore. But I started the practice of it in 2020. Like I did every single night, and I was supposed to do it till I didn't have a cringe anymore. And when I ran out of cringe for that saying I'm awesome, then I got it. I was supposed to pick a different word until I found one that had a cringe sensation.
Hmm.
Like surprisingly, that by the time that I got through 3 different words, the
Hmm.
word powerful was easy to say.
Hmm.
I am powerful. I am love. We are powerful. We are many. We are mighty.
Yeah.
And it is time.
It's time. It's been time. It's been time.
Yeah.
It is. Absolutely. And I pulled a clarifying card.
Yes. I'll
And
get you.
it's from a different deck. And just to share really quick, I am pulling from the Untamed Elemental deck. This is one of my beautiful decks. So I used that. This is my second clarifying deck. And the first deck I used was the Oracle of the Seven Energies.
Cool.
That was the first deck I used. So from my clarifying deck is breath.
Ha!
Can't make it up. Can't make it up. When I seen it pop out, I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, but let me be present because I was listening to what you were saying. But yeah, it's just like, and I just to kind of piggyback off what you were saying, but yeah, the breath, what I was getting when this card came out was that our breath is more of our, we're going to start connecting to that inner voice.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much power and even truth and even communication in the silence, in those moments in between words.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we're just going to become mute beings and we're never going to talk. Like talking is beautiful and it's important too, but there's going to be a lot of telepathy going
Yeah.
on through the breath, a lot of inner knowing, the words. Like there's so much. What you ever hear they say there's silence is golden, or sometimes the silence speaks volumes more. There's going to be a lot of that, and through connecting with our breath. And I think it has a lot to do with well, I know actually it has a lot to do with just those present moments. The breathing is going to get us more centered and more grounded in our body. So
Mhm.
like we cannot forget about the power of the breath. And I'm also being called to invite us all to remember to be doing some type of breath work, whether that's the nadi shodhana. I do that a lot in kundalini yoga, is the alternate nostril breathing. Even just taking deep belly breaths, slowing down our breath,
Yeah.
stop breathing so shallow. But there's beautiful pranayama techniques like breath of fire, like I said, the nadi shodhana with the alternate nostril breathing, perfect for left and right hemispheres of the brain, merging that divine feminine and masculine, that inner balance. So yeah, there's so many different forms of breathing. But yeah, connecting to the breath, that's also going to connect us also to the spirit realms too. Like the people who are having issues, like connecting to um their guides or their those higher forms of consciousness, the breath is a beautiful bridge for that as well.
Yeah. Thank you. That's amazing that you had that come in too. And like, it is about the breath. It's all the way about the breath. Everything that we do is about the breath. When you are giving your consent, when spiritual things are happening, a certain type of breath is required. Like it's you're receiving, opening yourself to it. And we all have a different way of doing things, but there's this one little trick I just learned that has to do with this is this two sharp inhalations and a long pull. Hold it for 7 seconds and then exhale slowly but first forcefully. This has got to do with whale medicine. The of its
Wow.
spout when you first exhale, needing to do that and remembering that when you're breathing in, like you said, you're breathing into your belly. You're extending your
Yes.
diaphragm, like babies do that naturally. Oh, I should probably fix the word balance.
Oh
Um,
yes, thank you. Thank you for that. I was like,
but
oh my God, my big head is all in the camera.
oh, if that bothers you, I don't have to do that. I feel like it's more professional.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it feels more balanced. Yeah, I don't want you speaking in my head is like front and center, you know?
I got yeah, yeah. But like babies do this when they're born. They know how to do breathe with their bellies. If you'll observe your child, and there's a window of time called the time of pruning. This is a psychological term that I don't particularly relate to, but I can see what they're talking about. Around the time of entrance into school, they um, ballpark it into the age 7 group. Age 7, there's a thing they call the lifetime pruning, and that's when you prune yourself as expected anyway of all magic, all imagination, all memory from your earlier time. So all of your childhood memories, your baby memories, are most of them go during this window of time. It's connected to that age group for a lot of other reasons, but what's found is people start breathing more shallowly at this age group also, typically.
Mm, Oh,
This is when we
interesting.
stop breathing with magic and we start breathing with panic. Because when we breathe in our up high, we're in panic and we're
Yep.
telling our body to be upset, right?
Yep. Yep. When you see even a child or a person that's crying very hard because of all that, density, they're like it's like
Right.
panting type of breath. It's like
Yeah.
not deep, it's not fluid, it's not slow. So yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned like breathing from the diaphragm. That's
Yeah.
actually a form of like another form of breath. I forget the name, but it's a shamanic form of breathing that I do working with one of my dear friends who's a shaman, and it's so powerful. It's like you breathe deep into your belly, then you bring it up to your heart, and then you do a powerful exhale. So it's inhaling through your belly, inhaling again up to your heart, and then powerful exhale. And you do that over and over and over and over and over again, almost into this, you become into this transcendental state. And the next thing you know, you're channeling, you're dancing like crazy, you're crying, you're screaming, you're laughing, whatever is meant to come through comes through that shamanic form of breathing. I forget the name of it, but yeah. Next time I'll share what the
Yeah.
specific name is, but I know it's a shamanic. But again, inhaling, you can even do this on your own. But it is nice to do it with like a shamanic practitioner, or just someone who's to hold space for you, because sometimes if you can become so ungrounded in a sense,
Yeah.
like where you may just like sometimes you need that person to kind of guide you back or have those drums in the background. But yeah, breathing is just like so powerful. Yeah, those deep belly breaths, and even yes, yay, I love the drum. Yeah, that's been coming up too a lot. I know you've been mentioning the drums, so yeah, connect to the drums as well. But yeah,
That also
that's
is
what
well
it is.
medicine. Isn't that funny? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's also well medicine. Well's come up a lot. Well's a big deal right now. In fact, she's watching Free Willy for the first time in her life. Like it's there's this whale. Everything's about these whale, and whale tells us to breathe like when the whale pushes the water out. That kind of
Mm,
when we're exhaling. Um,
yeah.
if you consider the drum, when we're using the drum, or you're like in a drum circle, I'm speaking more of like you know the uh, indigenous people of Americas kind of singing, where you'll notice that there's this big draw of the breath. They have to raise their belly, they have to fill their diaphragm to then move through the sound that's going to come out, and with the drums, you'll hear the drums, and the drums will reunite you with the heartbeat, and the heartbeat and the drum connection is whale based. It's a whole mythology or storyline of, I believe it's the Lakota, but it might be a different indigenous group who talked about the first time that they realized. No, I mean, yeah, I think it was more western coast. Anyhow, um, that when the whale put itself on the ocean, or out of the ocean and onto the beach, it gave itself to the people, and from that they made the drum to mimic the sound that the whale makes.
I love
And
that.
from that point on, that's when the drums have been really connected with who and what whale is. And as we do that, as we allow ourselves to drum, and if we can do it for 17 minutes, I've been told by a lot of people, they keep telling me that 17 minutes is an actual measurement. What Spirit told me was between 21 and 20 minutes. Something happens, the ego turns all the way off, whatever it is that's trying to drive the car, quiets itself down, goes and takes a nap, and now you can get the dishes done. So all of a sudden, you're noticing you're connected with your higher you. You're able to, all of a sudden, the answer to that question that's been nagging, bugging you is there. Your higher
Mhm.
knowing and intuition is more aligned. And if you can do this regularly during this time for that amount of time, the better. If you can do it every day, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of people, including me. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. We're doing it. Yeah. Thank you for that reminder. Because the drumming is just whoo. That's why a lot of African cultures and just Black people in general, we love those hard bass beats, because of that's part of like that culture is that
yeah,
heart frequency, and it's just the way it gets you moving. And that's why they say, Black people got so much rhythm. because of that
Yeah.
drum frequency that just seems to resonate with most of us, but all of us, all humanity. But it's big in the African culture for sure.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the incorporation of the drum, the heartbeat. But yeah, it's just something about that drum. It just makes you kind of lose yourself in a sense. Like you're just moving and you're just like boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. Next thing you know, you're in that meditative state and you're just free. You're free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the flow.
Hmm.
Exactly. I have a controversial question. Not question exactly, I guess, but a statement that this is something that I've always connected to because you brought up the drums and culture. Um, it's just something that it just won't go away. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately, is that all these earlier times, it was remembered. And before the Europeans came to the Americas, they're like Florida, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, this whole area. You'll find earlier maps to say this too. So that's what actually got it back into my head again. It's like I remember that. Is I had
Hmm.
these moments where like the indigenous people of this area appear to be of African descent,
Oh yeah. Oh
but
yeah.
they were wearing like tribal clothing and living peacefully, you know. And it's just like, so this.
Oh yeah, I know that there's for sure. Yeah, I've done a lot of research, and then there's again still so much to uncover. But one thing, we've been taught that Africans were only initially in Africa, or Black people, whatever people want to call it, but they were everywhere. A lot of original, very dark skinned people, like blacker than me, pitch black people.
Yeah,
Were some of the original people in Australia as well. If you look all over, the Aborigines, they were everywhere,
right.
everywhere. It wasn't just from what we've been taught, miseducated, that slavery brought black people to all these different countries. No, there was indigenous, very dark skinned. And one thing I'm not 100% clear on is that if they were all Africans,
Yeah, that's what I'm
um,
saying.
yeah, if they were all, some of them were just indigenous to America,
Right.
the darkest black people. So but they, yeah, but we all come from that. But yeah, they were everywhere, everywhere.
It's crazy. And
Hmm.
the reason this is useful to bring up, in my opinion anyway, it feels like it's useful to bring up because it then assists those who are listening or those who may be um, to suspend your dedication to the belief of what you're taught in these school systems. And like it's very likely that all of history that we've been taught is incorrect, but
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah, his story. So
Right, like we're told over and over again, the victor writes the books, the history books, and
yeah,
there's no mistake that you'll get a new textbook every year,
yeah,
and it's edited, updated, changed, and altered, and
yeah.
um, this particular piece of history feels like it's the most obtainable or accessible, which I think is why Spirit's been so persistent on bringing it up to me lately. Because I have a memory of this old time, like the beginning in a lot of ways. And
Mm,
the world was the same, but it was different in a lot of ways.
mm,
And that was part of the memory, was
mm,
the whole like what we call the South, I guess. And I know they don't include Florida in the South, but this whole southern space was like in. I mean, if you look at what amount of the country was the Louisiana Purchase, all the way up to that line, that territory, there were groups mingled, all kind of ethnic background, and the invading Europeans, when the indigenous people of the Americas found Christopher Columbus lost in the ocean and they tried to help him out.
it's
you know
true. It's
um,
so true. Yeah, I mean, there's so much to unlearn and also learn again, and that's one thing I've learned in just life is just be open. and open to say we don't know. And that's why I try not to be so concrete into any sort of like absolute truth, because
Right.
then I'm always tested time and time again that like I don't know anything. You thought you knew something, but you didn't know. You didn't know. Maybe you know a little bit of something, but it's not the whole picture. So yeah, but one thing I do know from that unlearning is that yeah, black people, I can't really say Africans, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
As for as terms of like the indigenous, like black people who didn't even come from Africa were already here. So
Right.
yeah,
There's
but I
even
I would say, oh,
sorry.
go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna jump down a rabbit hole. You go ahead.
No, actually I probably don't know. Actually, what I was about to say, I'm realizing I probably don't even know what I'm talking about with that, so I'm gonna let it go.
Okay. Well, there's a bunch of fun rabbit holes about this, and it's just the idea of letting yourself suspend what you've been taught and kind of replace for something. I don't know. Like I'm not gonna go much further in this rabbit hole that I'm being guided down right now, but I encourage you to do your own research and see.
Period.
Yeah, like we'll find we're coming to the realization that we all are exactly the same, and that we have been guided to believe in a world of division when the
Oh yeah.
opposite is most true. And if we can, because I know that there's some like individuals that are learning to not be stuck in the way that they were raised to believe that there's some type of race that is more important than another. That's absolute baloney. And I don't even like
Right.
the word because that implies there's a competition.
Right. I mean, right. I mean, but that's part of the spell of the language. Yeah.
Right. And I just like that we can openly talk about this. Like it's awesome. There's
Yeah.
no hard feelings and no, like I look pretty dang white. I know that. Like
Yeah.
I'm half native, but you can't. I'm not half. I'm an eighth. My I said that wrong. But I mean, I have mostly like Gaelic, Swedish. I'm like
hmm
the white people.
Yeah.
And like, but at the same time, we can have these types of conversations, and it's not from a place of cruelty or meanness. It's to try to shake the carpet out and see that we're all the same person, so you don't have to hide the stuff
Yeah.
underneath the carpet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just learn a little bit about, like we said, whatever you want to call it, history, her story, just
Right.
more uncovering the truth of things. But yeah, there is no hierarchy at all.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. But you would even have to ask, it's kind of sad in a way that you even have to say that disclaimer, because it's like,
I know.
why should we be uncomfortable about these conversations? I mean, I don't feel uncomfortable. I feel like it's nothing but love.
Yeah.
And it's not even about, like you said, the race. It's just we're having dialogue. We're
Yeah.
having dialogue. We're exploring. And I feel like if something's on somebody's heart or mind, we should express it, as long as we're being respectful and loving and kind. I don't see a problem with it.
There is something here too, is that you are given uh some of this code through your DNA, right? We each have a different type of strand of DNA because we come from different families and stuff. And there's something about, I remember that I can't remember where it was, but you we know that different indigenous groups specifically have a higher spiritual DNA code,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And the uh the white people have the lowest amount. I'll just say it that way.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And but you know what's so interesting about that? In some people, they may get triggered hearing that, or their egos maybe, but it's not a hierarchy thing though.
Yeah.
It's not a hierarchy. It's not a hierarchy thing, because we can all learn from each other and everybody has their certain gifts. I was actually just watching a video maybe a few months ago, but I'll share it with you. I would love your perspective, but it was talking about the galactic history of all the races, right?
Ooh,
So-called, mind you, races. That's not the galactic history and like where they
this is
originally
Billy
came from. And
Carson.
no, not Billy Carson. Her name is Crystal Shaman of Ascension.
Cool.
And man, she goes deep and so deep, like Crystal Shaman of Ascension. But yeah, she really was breaking down, and it just gave a different perspective because even there's a difference between indigenous races of the planet, and when we think indigenous, we think of just Native American or African or whatever, but there's indigenous white
Yeah.
races of the planet as well, but every so-called, and it's not really a race, I'm just using that for the sake of just understanding. It's not a race, but we all have played such a pivotal role before the fall or the distortions, before all the nonsense happened, where we began separation,
Yeah.
so to speak, or we began to forget who we really are, and that DNA came down to 2 to 3 strands
Yeah.
for most of humanity. But yeah, but the white people, so-called white people, they have such a powerful as well, beautiful lineage, like the Irish, the like when you go deeper deeper into all of that,
Yeah.
you realize like what a magical group of people. I'm not going to say race, group of people. But again, we're all one, but we all have something to teach. We all have something to bring to the
Yeah.
table, so to speak.
Yeah.
And again, it's not how we've been taught.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, again, unlearning. And it's just like, it just blows my mind. And mind you, I don't no, I'm a novice when it comes to this form of thought. I'm just kind of like, in a way, regurgitating what I've been
Yeah.
told.
Yeah.
But a lot of it resonated with me. So I'm gonna send it to you. I would
Yeah.
love for you to watch it. It's only like 20 to 30
Heck
minutes
yeah.
video, but please, I would love to like talk about it later.
Sure, I would love that. I really
Yeah.
would. I'm really interested in this topic. Like I brought up Billy Carson's a separate thing, but it kind of goes along with it. Is that he had just come up with what Lavender Sky Panther here mentioned. Our galactic families dropped us all over. Is there's a two
Yes.
percent variance in our DNA code that deciphers us from one ethnic group to another. Two
Yeah.
percent,
Ethnic group is a lot more proper
right?
than race. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so if this 2% variance is, oh, it's 1111. This 2% variance requires, like, can't remember for sure, but I think it's like 20,000 years of evolution for such, it might be more, it might be 200,000
Mhm.
for this type of evolution to occur, but it happened in like this blip on the calendar of time. Um, in a way that shows the likelihood that it was, because this is actually what I've always known to be true. And this is kind of why I brought this topic up. I was kind of investing, and it's kind of interesting that each one of us, and it's got nothing to do with hierarchy,
Mhm.
everybody that lives on this planet, we're talking about what the individuals we call animals too, which are not a very kind word always. But like the people who live, the legged brothers and sisters, four-legged brothers and sisters, the winged brothers and sisters, this type of idea. Every one of us is a genome code from a galactic ethnic group.
Yes.
We are. And
Yes.
so we have characteristics of that specific galactic group. Does that mean that
Mm-hmm.
someone's more
Absolutely.
important than the other? No, not at all. It just helps you to
Yeah.
find your own lineage, right?
Yeah. It's just frequency, it's just vibration. It's actually beautiful that the divine created us this way in so much diversity.
Yeah.
So because it's just different expressions of divinity.
Yeah.
It's different expressions of divinity. It also teaches us to have a appreciation and to learn from one another, and to not know it all, and to come together, and just, it's so much. That's one of the reasons why I love to travel so much, is because I just love to see the diversity in the different cultures. I don't care where, take me everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people. I'm like, I only want to go here, I only want to go there. No, I want to go everywhere. And yeah, I'm aware of all the toxicity and the division. I mean, the world can be an effed up place, but there's also so much beauty.
Yeah.
And I realize going into these different cultures, you also realize how we've been taught about the culture is actually lies. There's so much love and so much kindness and welcoming. I would say even especially for Black people, because Black people are scared to travel. A lot of Black people are scared to travel because I mean, of all the racism in the world, which is true, but there's also, when you go there, of course, there's going to be bad people, so-called bad people of all races,
Yeah.
right? Mind you, races. I'm using quotations, okay, right? So,
Yeah.
but when you actually experience it for yourself, you're like, wow, I didn't know anything about these people.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. And there's just so much love everywhere. So that's why I love to experience different cultures, you
That's
know.
awesome.
So yeah, Europe is definitely on my list. I'm called to. It's funny you mentioned Ireland and what you were mentioning in the beginning of the call. Like, yeah, those. I think you said Sweden
Yeah.
is where. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm totally called
My
to go
grandmother
there.
came here when she was 11, uh, escaping persecution for being a witch when she was
Oh
11 years
wow.
old. And her family lived in, like it was right next to Denmark. Like where there's that water, that space between Denmark and Sweden. So super far south. But when she came, um, it was the same concept, same thing where she lived, was that
Yeah.
the magical ones were seen as freaks, as scary, as something to
Yeah.
run from and to point at. And
Yeah.
so, and then my grandfather was
Mhm.
raised to hate his race,
Yeah.
and that was the culture of, he was born in 1926 and he was half white and half brown. That was where so many farmers are called Farmer Brown. That's the name that was given to that person when they took their land. And so we see it traced in all of our genetics. But what's beautiful, this is what I really wanted to bring forward, and it's kind of been fun to just jump down these rabbit holes, is that now we're a stew, all of us.
Mhm.
We look different,
Mhm.
maybe a little bit on the scale, on the epidermis layer, but as soon as you just get past that most shallow amount, you find that we all have the same sparks of light that each other do. And
Yeah.
maybe a little bit different, but if everybody was the same, you wouldn't need the others, you know
Yeah. Absolutely. I just always found it so silly how people are caught up, like you said, on the color of an epidermis. It's just skin.
yeah.
It's skin. It's
Yeah.
just skin.
Literally.
It's like the most silliest. I mean, just being honest and not trying to be insulting to humanity, but I mean, we're really on such a kindergarten level, maybe preschool, when it comes, like, I mean, the fact that we're even, when I say talk, looking at race in terms of like division, and it's always like a talking point. And when I say not a talking point, it doesn't mean we can't talk about it, but in a context of like, division,
Yeah.
so to speak, or separatism. It's just like, I'm just realizing like, wow, humanity's really, we had just have so much work to do. It's just so interesting. And me as a Black woman, I'm not going to say that I don't see race. I see our color. I see it, but it's not my deciding factor in how I move,
Yeah.
it's not the focus of my mind,
Yeah.
like I'm aware, like I'm one of those type of people. I'm very aware that as a Black woman, yeah, I mean, I'm probably, I might experience some racism here and there, but I also experience a lot of love. Like as an astute traveler, everywhere I go, I experience a lot of love. But it's like, even again, shifting out of that victim mentality, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and from whatever perspective, human perspective. And I'm proud to be, the person I am in this human experience. But I think we all should be, right?
Yes.
If we're like living with love, leading with love. Like, who cares? I don't care about what somebody's cultural. I care about who you're being.
Yeah.
Like, how's your heart? How's your heart?
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the underlying part is that we are all equally, if not identical, very similar. And so we all bring equal awesomeness to the table. I just realized it's 11/7 on 11/7, and or it was 11/17 on 11/7 just now. That was a
Oh,
lot of
love
11s
it.
and 7s. Is that
Mm.
with this conversation, we become more aware that we all have the same parents if we go far enough back.
Yeah.
We all have the
Oh
same
yeah.
magic that run through our veins if we go far enough. And we find that we have a common bond and a common
Yeah.
purpose. And
Yeah.
through the realization, it teaches us to empower ourselves by believing in our power, that we don't
Yeah.
have to be powerful only if you have this or that. I remember there's a big thing growing up that it was a proudful statement to say that you were, Native American. It was a thing that everybody was like tracing back, like, look, see, I have Indian heritage. That's what they would say it back then. And it was like a badge of honor that didn't make any sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
that's one example. But then what I'm trying to say here is that we all come from the first, the first of the firsts. And
Yeah, the original mother. Yeah. When I was channeling Shakti one time, I was hosting a retreat just to kind of just to share a moment that was so beautiful. I was hosting a retreat, and one thing I love about my retreats, I have a mixture of everybody. I have a white person there, Mexican, black. I love the diversity. Take me where there's diversity. But one of the girls there, she's really dark skinned, and she's a black woman, but she has a lot of insecurities because of her dark skin, which I understand because this world is taught to think that the darker you are, the uglier you are, the lighter you are, the prettier you are. It's that brain. Because she would never be in any of our pictures. We'll be taking a group picture. She would hide. But when I channeled Shakti during one of our plant medicine ceremonies, it like Shakti was looking at her, was like, everyone comes from you. So how could you be ugly? Everyone comes from you.
yeah,
We are all one. So if they came from you, that means you are also beautiful of the people that you think are more beautiful than you.
yeah, yeah,
They come from you. We all, like you said, we all come from the original, but she represents being the darkest person. We all know the Lucy, the mitochondrial DNA comes from the most darkest, blackest mother, but we're all one. We all come from that lineage. And that's another reason, like we know that, but yet we're still talking about separation.
yeah, right.
It's insane to me. But I had to tell her that to give her that perspective. Like, everyone comes from you.
Yeah,
So how could you think you're less than or uglier or not as beautiful when everyone comes from you? It doesn't make any sense.
yeah.
So yeah, we're all one. We're all one. It's not
That's
a
great.
hierarchy thing. Yeah, we're all one. It's just, but we're learning. So, but this has been beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. This has been such a fun conversation. I have so much more to say, but I love that we're in a time where we get to see this stuff happen, when the
Hmm.
hate can dissolve and we can find instead a world of love. And
Yeah.
like, I'm becoming emotional saying it. It's just such a beautiful shared experience to be in this place where this is the prophecy. This is the Rainbow Warriors. The Rainbow Warriors are people from every background,
Yeah.
every place, from every color, every
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
And we join in a common bond, shoulder to shoulder, commencing
Yeah.
forward with it. Every time the symbol is that we are honoring Mother Earth, and each one usually has a planting stick and a bag of seeds, like
Yeah.
Cocopelli,
Yeah.
and as
Yeah.
we see these moments as we step forward, we don't have to compare and contrast, because, like you said, we're seeing that we're actually the same soul too.
Yeah.
We're
Absolutely.
actually really literally each other.
Yep. And another thing I want to mention, in the past life, I was an Italian chubby woman who owned a store. I had a grocery store, and I used to give to my community. And when I was doing the past life regression and I was seeing this, I was like, oh, look at me. I was an Italian woman. So how could I see myself as separate from that
Yeah.
when I was also that as well? I was not always a black woman I was not even always a woman in
Right.
every incarnation. I wasn't even always human in every incarnation.
I've been the
So,
elements. I remember being the elemental.
mhm. Oh, elemental.
Have you ever been in a memory of your past incarnation as a man and noticed that you have the body parts for a man? Because that's freaky. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's so weird to look down and
Wow.
be like,
It's like I have a peen.
yeah, I totally did that. I had that experience. I was like, it was just, I didn't think that something would be there. I didn't, I,
It is completely weird, when you're in this female body, right?
yeah,
It's true. Yeah, I've been a male before. I don't remember honing in on my peen, but I I do remember it was interesting, like even just that energy of like liking women. I'm like, okay, I'm not
Yeah.
lesbian in this life. I love women, but I'm not sexually attracted to women.
And how important sex was. I remember noticing that back then too, be like, wow, after coming back into my me and being
Yeah.
like, wow, sex was really important. Like it doesn't it I mean not to say it's unimportant exactly. It's just that it was literally all that mattered. I felt
Yeah.
like when
Oh
I
my
was the
God.
man.
You get to see the mindset of the men, right?
Yeah.
Even as a conscious man.
It was
Oh, that's
beautiful.
hilarious. Lavender Sky is laughing. She's cracking me up. Shout out to you, Lavender Sky. I've been seeing a lot of your comments in the chat. You've been on point.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. That's so funny. It's so true. Yeah. Just being attracted to a woman. But yeah, I can see why women are beautiful creatures. Not to call us a creature, but we're beautiful people. We're beautiful entities.
Yeah.
And so I can see why men are just like kind of crazy in that area to
Yeah.
just connect with us. We're so beautiful, trust me. Like, and mind you, I'm not someone who's sexually attracted to a surprise package.
Yeah, that's really what it was. What it was is I noticed I didn't have breasts, and I'm like, "Where'd they go?" Like, that was and I'm like, "Look,
Right.
there's something
And
else
then,
down there."
yeah, yeah. You have nothing to even like, the breasts kind of even cover, like if you're looking down, if you have big enough breasts, you can't even
Yeah,
go
I've
straight to
always
your
had a problem
genitals.
with that.
Yeah.
It's
That
part of
is
my
so funny. But yeah, I remember my past life as a man, who was more like telepathic. I didn't even do much talking in that. Love you too, Lavender,
yeah,
and everyone. Yes, but yeah, yeah, just that connection to women, just that feeling of women in that
yeah,
life was very interesting. So I can kind of see why men kind of go crazy over women. But that also also showed me like women, like, come on now, get yourselves together. We have the power as well, like to kind
yeah,
of get these men in check, so to speak.
right. And empowering them, man. Like, we have a lot of stuff that it's a shared exchange. And if we allow that Reiki to happen instead of this one and then this one kind of thing that we've been like the patriarchal and also the matriarchal societies, that implies then the shift is to women in a matriarchal society, but that's still saying that someone's more than another.
Yeah,
And whenever there's a measurement on life, there's room for growth, you
right,
know?
right.
And
Oh,
I feel
you
like
know,
we've grown a lot this past 5 years as a society, as a world.
oh my God, we've grown like I would say it's almost equivalent to like 50 years of growth. But
Yeah.
that's because of the quantum leaping, so to speak, or whatever people want to call it, timeline shift, timeline jump. But it's just catching up really into who we're meant to be and who we are. It's that rapid remembering, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all so beautiful. I'm just so grateful. There's nothing else
Yeah.
I can say. I'm just
Me
so
too.
grateful.
We've been on for 3 hours.
I'm here for it. I'm
I just
hey.
I probably should get go. I have an 11-year-old that's in the other room, so like she probably
Oh,
doesn't know where I am,
yes.
but
I'm
she knows
sending
where I
so
am.
much. Oh, I love it. But the good thing about it is when they get a little older, they can kind of do their own thing a little bit. You
Yeah.
don't feel as guilty, you
Yeah.
know.
I find that I crave spending time with her. Like that's what
Yes.
I want to do with my time. I want to like hang out with my kid, shoot the breeze, maybe skip some stones. That's really what I want to do. Like,
Yeah.
and then everything in between just happens naturally as the flow goes, you know?
Yeah. 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 I think to just to kind of I promise this will be the last thing I'm gonna say. But
It's hard not. There's so much
yeah,
more to
yeah.
say.
Because it's like so much to once you open up that rabbit hole, it's like I gotta dive into it real
Yeah,
quick, just
yeah,
just a little bit. But yeah, it's like another thing is too, like shifting out of this matrix mindset of work, 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 do. A lot of people haven't really had the time to bond with their, especially mothers and fathers, to bond with their children. That's been another construct And a problem with the society that we've lived in and the way they've distracted us is so that we forget what matters and actually how much our children do need us.
Yeah.
So they do, and we need them too. We need them too. It's like to have that healthy, and of course, I'm not saying we have to be with them all day, but yeah, there is this. It's interesting you use the word crave because I do find that with my son too.
Yeah.
And mind you, I'm lucky enough and blessed enough where I get to work for myself and be at home with my son all day.
Mhm.
And especially he's not in the school systems, but there still is that craving. I am busy most of my days doing things. I have to do things sometimes alone or by myself because that's just part of my schedule and what I have to do. But even with my son here, I'm craving that time with my son. So I can only imagine people who have to go to work and be in the matrix all day. It's like how many children, in a way, are that's part of the inner child wounding is that they didn't really have that bonding time with their parents.
Yeah. That's actually where attachment things with attachment disorders and stuff like that actually really happen. Is,
Yeah.
you know, if you look at some of these older footage and photographs of these structures that they're showing are tertiary, and that's a whole different
Mhm.
rabbit hole that we won't jump very far down, I promise. But
That's okay.
I mean, one of the things that you'll notice is it looks like Sunday. Why does it look like Sunday? Because everyone's in their dress to the nines and the streets are full of people. It
Mm.
feels very staged if you first look into it, but then it's like that was a time when they're beginning to be able to prove that that was a time of free energy.
Yeah.
If you don't have to pay to live, then the world is a very different place.
Yep.
At first, like there's this whole thing, and
Mm.
it's like I I don't typically watch such things, but I was drawn to click and then skim to the very end, so I didn't watch most of it. Of this Joe Rogan conversation with Elon Musk, I bring this up because they were talking about universal high income
Mm.
and what that would look like, and what they described, which is something that they think is going to happen. But what they described is exactly what we see in these older photos. Is everybody had so much time on their hands that they were just wandering around the streets, happy.
Yep.
Like crime is gone almost overnight. There are some people who perhaps might find that that's just their way of life, but that will die out as the generations do. And like this concept of if you could do whatever you wanted to do and didn't have to work in order to survive, in order to live and to thrive, what would your life be like? Well, at first, I think everybody's not going to have an answer. I think most people are going to not know what to do with their time. They'll be the kid in the candy store kind of thing,
Yeah.
like they did at lockdown. Way too much Uber Eats and Netflix and
Yeah.
making a lot of babies.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Those COVID babies, they call them, right?
Yeah, that's like the baby boomers of our time.
Yeah. We're the only species, and we're supposed to be the most intelligent species that has to pay to live and eat.
Yeah,
That doesn't even make any sense. Again, it doesn't make sense. Why are we paying to live or to eat on a planet that provides everything for free?
yeah, yeah,
It's just, it's part of the programming.
yeah,
And like Lavender said, we're meant to be with our children. We're meant to be, we're meant to do what we want. And but that's the sovereignty. That's where we're tapping back into, is that sovereignty, is that freedom. That's freedom, is to do what you want,
yeah,
not to do what you think you have to do. And I'm realizing that once we're able to do what we want truly from the heart and the soul, everybody's needs will be met and
yeah,
more in a surplus. We think that if we lived in a world where people did what they want, that the world would be chaos and drama. But look at it. It's actually the opposite. When we're in a world where people are first forced to do what they think they have to do, there's even more suffering,
yeah,
more drama. But I'm talking about a heart centered world. Yeah, do what you want, but from the heart. and everybody's needs will be met in a surplus. Like so much abundance, like we couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
couldn't even imagine. I mean, we could imagine it, but it's like even beyond our level of consciousness. I'm talking about as a collective right now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that it's only been a trick of the eye that's lasted for just a little over 100 years.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not going to go into that because that's a really big rabbit hole, and I do have to wrap this up. But
Yeah.
like, if you guys want to look into that more, there's some really cool information about that. Here's a fun challenge to look at: is what happened the year after the sinking of the Titanic,
Oh, okay.
because all of a sudden the Rothschild bought all of the demographic that were aggressively orientated to push as their own whatever is supposed to happen. We had the privatization of money, the Federal Reserve, which is not a federal thing at all, it was a private thing.
Yeah.
Started they That was when the Rothschilds bought the school system. Um, it's written, it's public information, and
Yeah.
it says in the doctrine, it says we are not our desire is not to raise thinkers, it is to raise workers. That's in the doctrine of the school that
Yeah.
we go to, all of the people that have gone to school and stuff. My point here is the rabbit hole of this is that a lot of people have brought this up lately, that perhaps Christ already returned. And if that already happened, and the things that they have lined up already happened, that means that the past 100 years have been um, um, the 100 years of, or it's called Satan's little season,
Mm,
and it's in all kinds of religious texts and stuff. If
wow.
that's true, it actually lines up with everything that we've been in and been through, and it's showing. That's why so many political heads or media heads are being so sloppy, and we can see past the facade. They see past their mask, is a lot easier to see. So anyway, that's just the rabbit hole that I was
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
maybe for somebody to enjoy jumping down that at some point.
Yeah. Can I actually send I'll share a link in the description. There's a whole documentary I found that talks about what you're mentioning,
Really?
about the true story of the Titanic, not the story we've been sold. And yeah, how even the way the Titanic sunk, there's actually some
Yeah, I know, right?
conspiracy about, it not actually just being an iceberg. It was all for also because
On
of who was
purpose.
on the Titanic. Yeah. And what they
The
did.
money holding families,
Yep.
right? They
Hmm.
Because it didn't JP Morgan like change his mind like the last minute.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because it changed his mind, right? Changed.
right.
He knew what was up.
For a link to be shared, would you please send it to me, and then because as the host, I'm the
Oh,
only one that
yes.
can make it on YouTube. At least you can't put links; they won't let you
Oh, I
as a
see.
member of the audience.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll be happy to share that link for anyone who would like to email it
Yeah.
to me, perhaps.
Yeah, because it goes exactly into what you were talking about, like in detail.
Cool,
So yeah, and it's a good documentary too. It's not a boring one. You'll be
awesome,
engaged. So
awesome. I dig those kind of things.
yes.
Well, it's been 3 hours and 3 minutes, so
Oh my goodness. Wow. Totally meant to be.
yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you, beautiful audience. And I love you, Mela. I just really appreciate you. It's an honor to know you and to be in your beautiful energy. And I'm grateful for you. Grateful for everybody.
On to you. Thank you very much for coming today. I really look forward to when we can connect. It was so much fun that you came to the group, and you're actually being asked to bring it to your information to the group next time you can come
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure. I'll try to make it this Wednesday. Yeah, for
Cool.
sure. I should be able to. If I consciously think of doing something, I'll put it on the schedule as long as it doesn't interfere with something
Awesome.
else. So yeah. But another question is, can I share this live with my audience, Mela?
Yeah, you should be able to. In fact, it should be recording this whole time, but
Okay.
I'm not.
I know YouTube has a new collaborator section. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, okay. I have to look. I know they updated everything, and I was just like, "You can't have my ID. What are you talking about?" And I clicked off,
Yeah.
and so I
Yeah.
have to look into it a little bit more.
Yeah, if you we may be able to do that, but if not, maybe you can just send me the link and I can just upload it. But
Okay,
I think it would be easy to just add me as a collaborator because then it will just show up on my channel. I would like to
cool.
share this conversation with my audience.
I wonder if I
And
could do that right now, or do I have to
yeah,
do it after it's over?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of new to it too.
Yeah, I'll play with it. I'll play with it. Thank you for
Yeah.
telling me that.
Yeah. My channel let go my ego. So I'll send it to you. I'll send you a follow-up email. I'm also just a recap. I'm going to send you the video too about the galactic races as well.
Yes,
So,
yes, dude, I love it. It's time of rabbit holes. It is. It's a time to jump down rabbit holes.
yeah.
So I
It's
appreciate any input you have. Thank you.
yeah, of course. I want to hear your input too. But thank
Oh,
you. Thank you all.
thank you.
All
Look
right.
forward to seeing you again soon. And just so everybody knows, we already did have a heightened energy that happened. We're expecting to have more of it. Hold tight. It's one of those, keep your feet and your hands in the vehicle at all times kind of moments. And heart, they say go within, and when you go within, you can be in this place of love and peace and your own balance and alignment. So just go within and know that you're safe. So thank you all of you. I send you so much love. Whole blessings.